futures, a little change this morning to slightly higher at this point. We're bouncing back after starting the session in negative territory once again, coming off that big slide we saw yesterday that followed the Fed minutes from the latest meeting in December that showed more members of the Federal Reserve in support of both faster rate hikes and the tapering to increase quicker as well as far as asset purchases go for the Fed. So we saw all three U.S. indexes sell off heavily into the close yesterday. The Dow down 392 points at the end of the day. The S&P about 2%. The NASDAQ led the way. Its biggest single-day decline since February, off 3.34% when all was said and done yesterday. Declines were widespread as well. It wasn't really specifically about the tech or growth stocks. It was the entire market. We saw all 11 S&P 500 sectors in negative territory when all was said and done yesterday. We just got the weekly jobless claims data out there. Looks like they were slightly higher, up about 7,000, 207,000 versus 195 expected. Banks here, though, this morning trading a little bit higher, showing some strength. So we're going to talk about the financial sector. We'll have a look at some tech as well. Apple and Tesla both weak in early trading. Some earnings to get to as well. Yeah, Walgreens out this morning with their latest report. We'll talk about that. Bed Bath & Beyond as well. It's Thursday, January 6, 2022. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Look at, a bit of a mixed board at this point. You can see 0.3 for the Dow. S&P just going back into positive territory. The NASDAQ still lagging ever so slightly. The TSX futures here in Toronto back in the red once again as well. Little change to overall. Big bump for crude there. 2% back in positive territory. Crude oil lower when all was said and done yesterday as well. And yeah, the declines in cryptocurrencies continue here. I just saw a comment on that Ethereum. I'll try and find that again, but there was a comment that came out there on Ethereum going forward. So, some weakness in cryptocurrencies, guys, to kick things off once again this morning after that tumble we saw yesterday. It's Lumberjack Day once again. I'll have to give Justin a heads up, Sean. Yeah. Team Lumberjack, Justin and I. Yeah, he chops the wood and I pile it. So, it's been a good run here for the market if you've been short, Brendan. But yeah, obviously yesterday the Fed minutes send this market tumbling down. And
is that the word?
Tumble?
Yeah, I feel it was worse than that.
Really?
Oh.
I was gonna say it wasn't that bad. I mean, it was bad. It was 3%, but. I mean, that's the NASDAQ. There's so many other names that were fine. I mean, if you're well diversified into energy, into banks, it was just the big cap tech stocks not big cap, all tech basically down 3%. Its worst drop since February. But again, we can look at daily charts like we've been doing, and we're just pulling back here. We're at October levels. So I'm excited to trade today. I think there's some good longs that can be found. We're going to have to be specific and be patient today. So let's let the market settle down, and we'll make some trades early, but be very specific with what we're doing.
Yeah, we've seen panic days. Well, I shouldn't say panic days. We've seen days where maybe it's the Fed, maybe it's whatever causes the market to slide, and people come in with that grim feeling in the morning the next day. And a lot of times that open, it's like if there's like fake wick bottoms, and then some of these names were to catch bids, like that can be fantastic bounce back days. Of course, it goes the other way. Like if you break lows and don't turn around, floodgates can open up. I just before we even get into it, I just want to make because obviously Bed Bath & Beyond is on our watch list today, and I'll tell you right now, yes, it was down at the time of writing, but I can show you what happened here because I was involved in it 3 times. One time in which, thank for the love of God, that even though I missed a stop, it wasn't for more shares than it was. That's all I will say. But yeah, it was down. It was down 10%, I want to say. It was very, very close to that. Now up 8.5% after missing earnings. So remember the short interest in this name. It absolutely, that's a reversal. You just crazy. So just a quick question. You're going to read that on the watch list. Believe me, it was down, and it was down absolutely significantly when the results came this morning. But it made all of it back, went all the way back into yesterday's top before it turned. Well, actually past yesterday's high before it turned around at $15. So Bed Bath & Beyond is certainly on the move. There's a lot that's going to be moving here today. So yeah, I know we have a couple of things in earnings, but You're not going to need earnings to have some market movers today.
Here's that note, guys. It was JP Morgan that was out with a note on Ethereum, just questioning the DeFi dominance at risk due to sharding delays there for Ethereum. So that kind of kicked off a little more selling in that cryptocurrency this morning. Before we came on, before we go any further, Miss B is back in the building this morning and ready to go. Good morning.
Good morning, team. Happy trading to you all. I wish you a wonderful day. Wish you luck. And please make sure you like this video. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Lots to discuss as we head towards the open here this morning. We'll jump into a few things. Cryptocurrency-related stocks under a little bit of pressure again this morning because of some continuation moves to the downside here. It's worth noting, as we said, during that slide yesterday, we saw the entire market under pressure, really, including some of the banks. Banks holding up a little bit better this morning. There are a few signs of strength going into the day, guys, including, as Neil was saying, coming from Bed Bath & Beyond back to the upside here.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Well, I shouldn't say it's crazy because you've seen moves like that from it when they report earnings, and again, like it's that snapshot. Like when you have, it's a very bullish look when something just makes a rebound like that. You mentioned crypto. I was actually going to pull up, and I was ready to sort of quickly talk about Coinbase because, I'm pretty sure they caught an upgrade. They caught an upgrade recently on the 15-minute. When I made that example or said that example of you break some bottoms, have a fake low, and then sort of bounce back to the upside right at the open after a day like yesterday in the markets, a lot of times it can be a pretty good bullish run. So I only pulled up Coinbase because it kind of had the look of that setup where you have some support lower at like 231, 231 and a half or so. We tested that yesterday. You have a pre-market low right around that same level. So if you were to breach this, not get past 230, then come back above like that 231, 232, that'd be a pretty bullish move. And then maybe you could be breaking back out. Coinbase in particular, of course, you have to watch spot prices. But if you saw that set up on, it's going to throw a name out there like, let's say NVIDIA or something like that, then you'd be looking for that level of support coming back in after a failed break, because what that would do is trap shorts. The same way people punch long in the top. Anybody that's like, ooh, market going down, anyone that shorts that could get reversed pretty quickly. I just happen to see it over there on Coinbase, like that level. So that's the reason for bringing it up.
Yeah, Coinbase. I mean, we looked here yesterday. You just talked about Ethereum. So Ethereum, yeah, just ticking down right to where we've been before on that one crazy crash day, down here to 33.5, and that's basically where we are right now. Yeah, it's not great. So we'll have to wait. Coming back in. Bouncing off 3,000, that's going to be a level. We do have some 2,700 or so down here. I don't know. I mean, this is what crypto does, right? So we're just going to have to wait to see where we go from here on Ethereum. I mean, it's been a big move down. I mean, it's a kind of a reweighting in a lot of different asset classes. 42,000 right now on BTC just cracked down today down to 42.4. Like, that's pretty low, man. Like, we were just, I mean, I recently bought some at 47, and now it's about down to 42. So, yep, I mean, this is a time here that if you do have some spare cash lying around, I don't know if you want to put some to work today, but let's let this, sort of base out a little bit down here. If you look again at a daily chart here, I mean, I just look, I mean, a lot of the altcoins obviously getting hit as well, but as you can see, just like Ethereum, we're bumping up to, just like they're bumping hopefully down to 3,000 and not any lower. Bitcoin trying to do the same thing here back to 40,000. So we're not all going crazy. We were already here back in October, late September, October, and then we're here again now in January. So this is kind of the ebb and flows of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, but the market is the same kind of thing right now here. If we take out the QQQs, this is what we talked about yesterday. Obviously, the Fed got very, very hawkish back in November, and then yesterday you come out with in minutes, and you can see what happened. Increased volume. It's hard to see that here. Maybe I can make. There you go. Thanks. Increased volume down here, and really no love at all in the afternoon. And it looks like we're going to open even lower today on the NASDAQ. But the one thing to understand too is the S&P 500 today is going to be up to start the day. It looks like it's hovering around flat right now. So you see the S&P also with an equal drop, but some of those names like the bank names, like the energy names, IBM, like stronger kind of stronger old tech names might work, but for right now, the SPY hovering around flat and the NASDAQ down again here today. So we're going to have to pick and choose our poison, I feel like, and not get into too many of these tech names too early. Wait for a possible bottom.
BBD?
I just saw Funware pop up here, guys, up 3.5%. They just announced some new software they're at CES this year. So PHUN on the move, up about 4%, as I mentioned. I want to talk about Rivian here. I saw a couple of people talking about it in the pre-market. Rivian set to open near lows. So we got back to basically all-time lows yesterday, kind of bounced off it a little bit, but we're hovering around that area again this morning. This chart just comparing all of the quote-unquote EV makers, including Ford and GM, which are at the top as expected there, but Lucid in this mess as well, including, it is the purple line there at the bottom for Lucid. So Rivian, guys, back to that all-time low area this morning.
Yeah, look, I think I actually could have pulled up a Rivian chart for something along those lines, because you talk about if it were to sort of breach this low, hold just below it, it's about like 88 and change, right? Hold below it and snap back up. That would be kind of that idea for a long setup, sort of at a T. But ultimately, I really do think if we actually get that kind of a snapback rally, there's a really decent chance that something like Tesla might be a better play than Lucid if that setup were to hold than Rivian. I will probably pay for shorts in Rivian just to be prepared and set up. But I'll say this about Ford and GM, right? Like in this environment, let's try to keep in mind a few things here. If you look at GM, they basically, forget about the EV for a quick second, because they got taken over by Toyota for the first time in like a century or something like that, to be the #1 selling automaker in the US. It was probably more like 70 or 80 years or something along those lines. And it was because of supply chain issues. And Toyota just basically beat them management-wise in terms of being prepared, like stockpiling chips and managing to manage their way through COVID and all of that. So if GM had been like a really high, price to earnings ratio, big one of those names, and had that happen to them, they would have gotten absolutely crushed. Instead, they were strong and sort of running up, and that's the difference between your companies that make something and have cash flows and have revenue streams that we can be more certain about and pricing in this environment and others. So if the market continues to be relatively weak, I think there's going to be some opportunities in your GMs and your Fords. Because at the end of the day, like there is some strength to them, and the valuations aren't necessarily as crazy as your EV name. So you really start to think about these in terms of buckets. And when we talk about buckets for day trading, always consider which ones that you want to trade, right? Like one of the worst things that I think you can do is, like you see setups on Lucid, Rivian, and say Tesla, and then take all three of them the same way, when it's like, well, just trade one, maybe use more risk into it, because ultimately they're basically the same thing. But I think you can put Ford and GM into one bucket, and you can put these into another. I'm paying for shorts on Rivian just in case there is that chance that we get a bottom break at that 88 and change level. But in the back of my mind, I have seen those wipe out bottom panic days make the hard reversals. I prefer some tech names to a Rivian for that kind of a setup, but if you're taking a short, you should have that in the back of your mind, especially if it triggers at the open.
So Rivian, that's good talks about Rivian there, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pass over and talk about Lucid, another EV space right here, and it's on the sticky notes. So guys, please share it, retweet it, everything. We had 40-something retweets yesterday as well on this thing, but you could see here, let's see if 36 hold, right? I mean, I want to see maybe a small little long. We should have punched a long when we came in today. If EV fails, look to short sell this, because if Rivian breaks, if Tesla starts breaking lower, then I don't think Lucid's going to hold. But we should have. And it's funny because when I wrote this, it was right here at 36. And I was like, do I punch the ticket now, just take the long? And should have done that. But you can see here on the daily chart, Lucid has been dropping down. I think we're at such a, forget about Rivian's fine. It's good. It has a very similar look to this. It just doesn't have as many data points. But look at Lucid. How many times have we bounced right off 36? I talked about this yesterday at the close for a possible swing trade idea. It's not, obviously you're not in the money that much here, but we can just see what happens off this bounce. The very bottom is 35.50, is that wick here. So I think For me, now that we've bounced a little bit off here, I'm embarrassed. I should already be 30 cents in the money because I did like this at 36 flat, which we've just been at. So I think now we'll wait down there near 36 even, see what happens to Lucid. You know, you've seen it make monster moves throughout the day, right? And even yesterday, 39 we opened at, guys. We cracked it down to 37 basically, made our way back to 38 and change, and then of course, you know, was battling around doing nothing, and then the big drop here of about $2 into the close. So we held 36 yesterday when it could have easily crushed it down to the downside. So let's see if it holds it again. I like Lucid down here near 36, and again, all over this on the sticky note. We also have Ford on here as well. I like the long on the 24 break. Let's see if we have support at 23.50. So yeah, good to go here on EV and some car makers today. I guess we can just sort of lump Ford in there. That's why they're getting the bump anyways. So I'm going to put some bids down on Lucid. We should already be long, but one mistake, we'll follow it up with hopefully a good trade. So 36.10 or so, we'll sit around here and see if we can get another long on Lucid in case it dumps down. 35.50 to support.
We saw some of the S&P and Dow trying to get back to positive territory over the past couple of days. Some of the resource stocks specifically, mining stocks and other resource names have been strong. I just brought up CLF here again today. Cleveland Cliffs, I mean, this daily chart, pretty impressive going back to, I guess, the middle of December, all the way up to $24 here. Back to the upside again, 2%, guys, for CLF. So a group that, not terribly active here in the pre-market, but worth watching again.
Yeah, I mean, after you saw what Nucor and US Steel and all those resource names were doing, another one to throw out there, and obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously, for those that are following what's going on in Kazakhstan, you're actually getting a big run up in uranium. So I just added CCJ to my watch list because they're a big producer. Kazakhstan is like 40% of the uranium production in the world, and that name has been on a bit of a tear. So when you're looking at resources, momentum is usually going to be your trend, is going to be your friend, obviously. And if we get further weakness and you look for places for longs, let's say you're only really going long when you're trading, then you want to make sure you've got some of these in your bucket in case we don't get that turnaround that sometimes you get in a morning like this. So, a lot of times for trading, I'd probably be going over to like a US Steel. Cleveland Cliffs is certainly an opportunity as well. But I have added this to my radar, like CCJ. It's been up a few days in a row here. Looking like it's trying to open up a little bit higher, but it's nothing I've traded before. It did tank with the rest of the market in yesterday's action, but it has been on a bit of a tear because of uranium fears of scarcity, I suppose.
All right. Yeah, we're getting ready to rock and roll here, guys. I didn't even look at CLF yet, but there are, I was wondering if there was a mining ETF. We asked about that yesterday, and I actually didn't look into it. So let me know if there is anything like that, because like I said, I think right now the best thing to do is to get diversified. And if there is one like that does cover kind of everything, because like you mentioned, uranium there, copper, with FCX as well, iron ore, things like that right now, lithium. I mean, they're all super hot. I know a name that both of you guys like, LAC.
Oh, they got smoked
I guess
yesterday.
It's on. And did they $31? Seems fine for that. No.
No, they got hit yesterday. I don't know if it bounced, but
yeah, this is Lithium America. Yeah, it didn't get hit too bad yesterday. I mean, it was only down $2, but again, the nice move to the downside there in LAC. So, I mean, I know Neil and Brendan have talked about this name. It's kind of it's below the 50-period moving average. So if you do like it and you do have some support, I mean, there's a lot of names that look like this, but again, with some catalyst behind it, I'm not in any of these names, but just because it was brought up on the show a lot, this is not a bad little area here down to $30. So if you're looking to pick up anything, this has worked. I mean, you could just see how well it's worked. I mean, you base down here at 12. We could easily fall back down. I mean, you see what happened to any market, but at the same time, when you try to buy stocks with catalysts, and the lithium right now in the EV space, it's pretty hot, obviously, needless to say. So, but look where this thing came from. Wow, this was $2, guys, in March of 2020, obviously. And then all the way back up, and okay, so whatever. I'm not going to go back too far, but this name right around the 50-period moving average, I like it. LAC, guys.
Everybody talking about this right now, Eargo. So there was a DOJ investigation into this company. It looks like they've been referred, or the investigation has been referred to its civil division, and that's in relation to some insurance reimbursement claims. So this on the NASDAQ doing all kinds of volume right now. up 60%, guys. So a lot of people just bringing that up.
What was the news on that, Brendan? Sorry.
It looks like it was a DOJ investigation regarding insurance reimbursement claims, and the investigation itself has been passed over to their civil division instead of the actual DOJ. So,
right.
Which I guess is positive news for the company.
Yeah, I guess it means
you don't want criminal.
No,
civil,
you don't want that. Settlement coming, I guess, is.
Yeah, probably. I mean, the thing about it, I was just looking at the stock because, yeah, you did have this monster drop off here, of course, right? Monster move to the downside. Obviously, we can see the huge volume here. This must have been in September. Looks like September 23rd or so. I don't know what's going on with, this is strange, $75, all the way down to $4 there. I guess they were basically facing impending bankruptcy, I guess, on this news, because down to $4 from a high of 75 with, really no reprieve here. And today you get that on here. So, wow. Okay, this is pretty obviously important news here. We're not going to look at any of these levels, but that's 460 right there. And then today it's bang to the upside. So I don't really, have too much opinion on this right now. $7 coming through. Wow, big news story there. Obviously, it would have been nice to have this story before this happened, but now it's going to pull back in. I try to look for, levels here of, where do we get started? Obviously down here when the news comes out, but you're starting to get a little red here. If anything, this might be a short until it takes out that 750. That's really the only play right now that I can see. The shorts on names that are going parabolic are so much easier than the longs because we have an out here. Otherwise, you're waiting to punch this new high. And it's who knows where people are long. This might even be a good profit spot for a lot of traders. Traders could be long $4 or $5, like we just said. They wake up, they see 7.25, they take it. So, just watch out here. It's an easier short right now than a long because we have this triple top basically here. Over the last 5 minutes, we've topped out at 750 every time. So I think it's an easier short than long, but at the same time, this is very dangerous. I don't know much about this stock. So for me, I'm going to sit on the sidelines a little bit. I guess you're going to have to, do we have to pay for shorts? Probably.
They're free.
Oh,
so
because
that's actually, sometimes that's dangerous, by the way. For when something like this that's going parabolic is free to pay for shorts.
Yeah.
Traders, especially prop traders, just see easy opportunities. So that means that the 750 short could be crowded. If I had to try to pick where it could bounce, the 50 period and the initial support after what looks like the worst of it back in September, that support was right down around 617, which also happens to be the 50 period moving average today. So if
I just went long.
If I had to pick a spot, that looks like that could be where a support level might be. And I'm not shorting it because when I see it's free to short, it's ooh, my goodness, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to try to play that 750 short. A lot.
So yeah, I know, and that's the thing. So I just went long then, based off of this bottom wick here at 680. So we're long here at 710. There it goes. It just goes up in the money 20 cents, and it's you don't take it, right? Normally 20 cents on a $7 stock isn't horrible, but I'm only giving this 30 cents to the back here. So if we take out this 680, it's really the only level here that I can see. So we're going to go long on ear, and hopefully there's more people that hear about this stock. Ooh. Brendan.
Ear. Here we go. Upgrades and downgrades for the day, guys. All birds. Bird is the word today. 5% to the upside for Morgan Stanley. Lows on here. UiPath, Canada Goose. Yeah, some retail names getting some downgrades. Wells Fargo downgrading both Target and Dollar General, guys.
What is that all birds?
All birds,
symbol?
baby. So I have all birds at home. I didn't even realize I own the shoe. My wife got them for me. They're super comfortable. I'm not going to try to be a spokesperson for them. And by the way, it's done 26,000 shares in the pre-market, which is absolutely nothing, and the stock is getting crushed. But I can tell you that the shoes are really nice and probably a little bit more expensive than they need to be. But ESG is a thing, and there will be a lot of people that will want this thing to work. So it'll be on my radar. I just wish it had done any kind of volume whatsoever. But they're comfy. It's up 5%. And look, there's a lot of names that I think what you're going to see in the midst of sell-offs is a lot of analysts are trying to, which makes sense, right? At the beginning of the year, it's what is the thing that has a chance to rally? And a lot of times it's what's been beaten down the most. So when you find something like this, which is relatively popular, which is a product that a lot of people like, you know, bouncing off of its lows yesterday. That's not a horrible looking bounce. It bounced off like the Fed bottom, essentially, and you're already kind of running back into the upside. I just wish there was volume. 26,000 shares means probably no day trade unless things get more interesting off the open. But that ear is definitely on our list. And I am in this ATHE. I should probably at least mention it. For now, it's a scalp trade. When 110 broke, it was gap up, consolidation lower. When it broke the obvious consolidation here at 110, 111, I just shorted that and was scalping it. It then broke to the higher level consolidation, like about to 117, 118, and then I shorted that price, 116 in front of it, and I'm scalping it again. If it takes out that high, it's walk away until 9:30 or until it tests the high, and then I would probably try the rollover again with the 130 stop. So pretty easy structured trade. It's done 10 million shares. Levels are pretty good. But keep in mind, anytime one of these, I'll pull up the daily chart, anytime one of these makes a move like this, where it's been up a few days in a row, gets the catalyst, bounces above $1, if it holds $1 at the open on the bid, sometimes you really do have to watch out for that breakout. I like the fact that when the failure happens at an obvious level, it usually can remain weak. But when a penny stock holds that dollar, well, a lot of times you don't want to get too greedy or too stubborn about shorting it too close to that $1 level. Otherwise, you can get yourself burned.
Yes, sir. Ears, let's go. Right now, up to 760. We're long at 710. Ears popping right now. We're actually waiting at $8, but I think right now that might not make sense as we get a big win right now on ears. So, yeah, good trade here. Let's just take a piece out right now if we can. I mean, we can. Ooh, it might just turn there. I put offer at 79. Let's see if it rips up to here and gets us out. Ooh, bouncing around 75. Let's maybe just take this out. If we get 73, there it is. So we're out right there. I don't even, ooh. Just went right to $8 where we should have been at. There it is, where we were at initially. There it is, a big win already for the People's Trader. Big trade right there. Already in on that one. Boomed it to the upside. There goes ears. Adios, amigos. We're out of 2/3 because you know what? Sometimes I hold these names and yeah, they don't work out. So right now, there it is. Yes, sir. Let's go to ears on this one. 816, 815, 8. This is just a monster trade. Thank you to Brendan Wickens for this trade right here. And you know, again, just get a little bit aggressive. You're waiting for this kind of bottom. It takes out these tops. There goes ears to the upside. I'm still using this as a stop. So if it still comes back down to 680, we'll get that out. But there it is right there. Taken quickly. We should have took more profit on it. We were waiting at 8. We got a little bit excited there, took some out at 75. So a nice little 70 cent win or so on that one, 60 cents on that name. So we'll wait to see where ears goes, but there it is, a nice little pop to the upside on EARS. And I was going to say something else about whatever we were talking about. Oh, I was going to say it's a good thing you bought the shoes, not the stock there on Birds, or else those shoes would be infinitely more expensive at this time.
I don't know what it says about the company that I didn't even know like what brand I owned. I just had
marketing, but yeah, that stock is getting crushed right now. But there goes EAR, guys, all the way to the upside. And this is why you got to sort of, you know, come back. Check us out every single day, man. I mean, as news breaks, we're going to sit here and trade them for you. And there it goes, EAR, about as clean of a break there through 750 as you can find.
Yeah, it's interesting with Allbirds. I mean, they only came to market I think it was Q4 of last year, so it was a relatively new IPO. DKS, Dick's Sporting Goods, up here in the pre-market on a raise of their full year profit forecast, guys. So I just saw, I mean, we're talking about Target and some other weakness in retailers today, but DKS, not so much, up nicely in the pre-market. Let's get to Arun before we jump into what else is moving around in the pre-market this morning and get a look at the overall futures here this morning. Big move down, as everyone saw yesterday. Arun, what are you looking at today?
Well, this is an interesting situation to be in. We talked about this yesterday, that when we were around that 4,800, I said around 4,785 or so. In the event that we went down, there's a lot of space to the downside. We've cleared all of that. So we've blown up any support levels we've had, and that was 4,690. Yeah, 4,690 was the level I was working with if we got below 4,730. That level's gone now. So what I have to now consider on the S&P side of things is that if we were to bounce up, we've got a ton of resistance to get through. All that action that we were supposed to kind of get support with, that previous action going back into mid to early December, that's all gone now. That's probably going to act as resistance. So what I'm looking at, 4740-ish as the potential resistance zone up top. So any pop that we get into the 47.15s, 10s, 15s going on up, if we can fade that, if there's a setup to fade, then I think I'd go for that in that direction. A nice little bounce up would be helpful to kind of activate the short. There's definitely no way I would look for shorts at this price, but the market does look like it wants to take a little break. There might be a relief rally that we can fade. On the NASDAQ side of things, that's in quite a different spot here. We're actually at the bottom end of the December lows here, early December lows around that 15,600, 15,500. So if we're going to bounce, it's got to be now. It's got to be, you have about 150 points or so to bounce and see if we can get a bounce off that DMA. And if that happens, then you might just re-enter the range. But if we crack that 15, I'm going to say 15,490. If we crack that, the market's probably got a ton of space to the downside on the NASDAQ side of things. And we have seen a decent amount of weakness in the NASDAQ over the last few days. Before that move yesterday, there's been relative weakness in the NASDAQ since the beginning of the year, right? So even now, as I look at the market, NASDAQ down 0.45 and S&P up 0.02, so relatively flat. So NASDAQ still showing relative weakness. Well, we've seen the type of volatility the NASDAQ brings, and that can change in a hurry. But again, if we break that 15,490, I think that's got to be the last level of defense here. And if we lose that, I think this market has a ton of space, and that's something to watch out for. For now, negative bias, keep an eye out. If you get a long, if you get a nice little move on the market, either market, potential fades are in play, and that's what I'm looking for.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. Yeah, going to be important to understand the overall picture of what is happening on a day like today. Let's talk about what is moving here in the pre-market this morning. That's the link to the watch list, guys. Miss V will have that in the chat. If you do require that, ask her nicely and she'll help you out. Let's talk about the banks because, yeah, they came off yesterday with the overall market, but trying to show some strength here in the pre-market, getting back into positive territory early on anyways. I mean, there's no significant news-related item here other than higher interest rates going to obviously benefit the banks, guys.
Yeah, like, I mean, that's your standard fare. I mean, the market got shocked because, you know, I don't think anybody was really expecting that they were going to sort of pull back the bond purchasing. And well, I guess pull back the bond purchasing is more like letting what they hold expire, meaning they're not going to be, it'll decrease the balance sheet, right? So be more specific about what that's going on. That's what shocked the market to the downside. It really did, you know, harm the banks, but you have to consider some context here because I'm just looking at BAC because I think it's the cleanest example of that. If you look at what had happened since the beginning of the year, like look at the break, it's a 45 break, and you essentially had like a nice $3 move and a double top up there, and so there was some profit taking on the banks. Now I'm still looking at that double top for a potential break on BAC. I think the support is pretty clean at 46, but I just don't see any way that we could be dropping down into a level like that. So I'm looking at BAC and I'm looking at that 48.50 level for potential breakout today. If we do get a chance to shoot at something like 47 where it bottom out in the afternoon, maybe we'll go for that. I'd really love it at 46. I just don't see any way that we're going to be pulling back $2 on BAC. So this one, I'm looking at 48.50. You probably heard me say it in the past that I hate this stock for day trading. A lot of that has to do with like 15 years ago? Maybe longer than that. Like almost like 18 years ago when Sean and I had our trading floor, and for whatever reason, it was just the stock that our floor did the worst on. It's a very different name now in the way that it trades, the amount of liquidity on it, and sort of how the algos are messing around with it. But the 48.50 level looks pretty good for a break. I'm going to have that order out there ready to take, see if it can go. There's also 48 up at the top here. At the open, I might just jump into that one for a smaller amount and then try to scalp that trade, whereas I think you've got some room to run if you were to break out to the upside. This is the daily charts. I'm going to show you on the daily chart here. If you look at that top, you're about to break out. If I go any further back, you'll see those crazy wicks, but you're about to try to break out here on the banks, and I think a lot of people are still going to be looking at that attractive safety net. If tech does get the bounce that we want, well, then that's one of those situations where you might have to see some more profit taking on BAC. I just like the clear levels that you'll be able to have there. If that 50 goes, 48.50, let's say, you've got a 48 stop. You know exactly where to go with it or when it's going to be failing. So, you know, I'm going to be all on BAC today. I like Morgan preferably for the long term. I just see BAC having some better levels up here.
I can't believe this ear, man. $1.70 now upside in the money on that trade. Yeah, you can't look at this daily chart on WFC, which sucks, of course. But WFC, I'll call it up on another platform here so you can see it quickly. We are, this is broke out, unlike BAC trying to get to 48.50. WFC actually yesterday took out its high of 52. You do have a wick high that day of 52.60, but now we're above it. So like Ford, this is already a name that is breaking out like crazy. I mean, you could have had this a year ago, guys, at 20 bucks. It's now 52. So, I mean, these banks are way too high right now, but there's nowhere else to put your money. So I think you gotta, look at these names. I gave you the XLF about a week and a bit ago. That's obviously been working, and then you wouldn't have to pick a stock, but they've all been working. So I think you got to stick with something like a WFC that's broken above here at 53. So you're going to open the day around $53. The high is just put in today, I guess, or yesterday at 53.20. So, and that was, it was that today. 53.15 was today. So, again, you have some levels to play off of here back into 52. So I like WFC here on the daily chart. We see it faded back into 52 at the close yesterday. That was, well held if you did that, back up to 53 today. So again, I'm going to try to be specific. We talked about that right here on our sticky note today. Let's wait. We learned our lesson yesterday, right? We got in too early on some names, and we had to wait now for key levels to come in. So let's wait to see if that comes through today. We have some levels here. We're waiting for Disney and things like that. We'll put this into the chat so you guys can check it out. But for right now, WFC, I like this play, but it has to come back in a little bit, like 52.50, something like that. I don't have my bids in yet, but I think that's, it's not a horrible start. The only thing that I'm nervous about is I already know I'll be long various tech names. So if the market rallies, so I wonder if tech is strong today, do the banks give up a little bit? So that's where I'm interested in some lower levels, but it could go the other way, right? Tech weak again and bank strong. So just play within your levels, and I think you'll be fine. So with that being said, I am going to start a bid right now in this 40 to 50 area for WFC and hope that we get something off the open.
Speaking of tech, Netflix just popping up here, 2%, not a lot of volume, but a little bit of volume came in here. Down 2%, JP Morgan cutting their price target on Netflix this morning. It's worth mentioning as far as relative strength is concerned, the amazing strength in Ford specifically, but also GM after the announcement yesterday of the Silverado. Yes, they both sold off into the close with the overall market, but we had the new Silverado unveiled yesterday at CES, if you missed it. So worth watching these two. I mean, pretty active here for both Ford and GM once again this morning.
Yeah. I mean, you guys know if you're a fan of the show and you've been watching it for the last year or so that I'm a big fan of this Ford trade, and it's been about a triple up for me on this trade. You're up to $24 again. The thing I look at from yesterday, I'm not even going to look. I mean, we can do this over and over again, but Ford, it's been just a huge move. This is multi-decade high at this point. So it's off to the races, and again, like that Palantir level that we were trading off of until it broke, and we'll talk about that obviously as we go. But 23.50 right here seems to be a spot that it's held now twice. It's not like this is a huge level or anything like that, but it's held this 23.50 right here on Ford. I think there's much more upside in this name. I do not think this name is done whatsoever. I hold GM and I hold Ford. GM is a good price, but that's in the 40s. I mean, my Ford price is in the teens or lower. So it's been a good one here, as that's my average price. But you could see this 23.50 is a level of concern. So that's all. So we'll wait to see if that comes through today. That's a level that I like. And then if you look at the minute chart, I don't know if I want to take a 24 break right now, but if the market rallies, which we'll see. The Dow is up right now. The S&P, we talked about that. The S&P is basically flat. Actually, I don't know what the Dow's up. I saw someone say it was up 80 points or so. But, Ford will go with the market, and we'll just see what happens through $24. So I don't want to push the long right now, but we are waiting back near 23.50. And if 23.50 breaks, this time we're going to be disciplined, and we're just going to get out at 23.50. And then if it's a bad wick or if we need to get back in, we'll do that. But again, not a day to average in and hope that some of your names come back.
Yeah, and just quickly for GM, I mean, 2 days in a row with, I want to say almost no success, with the exception of the open, the close 2 days ago, and then most of yesterday for GM at that high, which is now 66 and change 66 and a half, was looking to short it. If it gets up there, I'll probably look to do that again. I got like 60 to 61 if it ever gets back there for some support. It is pretty decently set up for a break here at the high, but again, I just don't have the feels for the breakout on this name. I think it could be more of a dip, and I like 60 to 61, which is too far away necessarily to make a trade. I think that was Miss V.
Hey guys, we've got a super chat from Matt.S. I put half my life savings into AMD at 137.49 yesterday. Do you see this as a potential swing trade, or it's better to scrap it? Do you guys think that AMD at 137.49 is a good level?
Half your life savings?
Okay, like the first thing, before we even get about talking about stock, like if by simply saying half your life savings, by definition, I don't think you can like that's not swing trading. I don't think, right? Like if you put half your life savings into something, it's a gigantic overweight investment that gets like swing trading for that amount like seems a little bit. And again, everyone's situation is different, so I can't comment on. That wouldn't make sense to me in this environment after what happened yesterday, right? Like it's just. Like if you're swinging something like that, that means that you have a stop and you're probably looking at some close support here and you can handle it, maybe back down to like a 130 level and you're like, oh, I'll just cut my bait. Otherwise, if it gets back to the 50 period, bingo, bango, bongo, get a couple of days of rally and you've got yourself a swing. But for half your life savings, like that I don't necessarily get. I can see why you'd want to try to catch a bounce on it. Just sort of looking at the daily chart if you've got yourself a stop. But I mean, I don't mind the name. I just that doesn't make sense to me. Like half.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably rhetorical, but yeah, you don't look if you want to put half your life savings into a stock. I mean, I got to support it on AMD, but at the same time, anything can happen in the market, man, and you don't want half of everything you've built up. I mean, look, if you're 10 years old and you have a lot of life in front of you, you can make this money back. But there's no way that I would dump anything like that into one of these names. If you do something like that, I would prefer an ETF. That way you're not like I'd prefer the SMH rather than AMD. Just if you're going to upsize your investment, because one single name could break on anything, right? News could come out that their chips maybe their last batch of GPUs or whatever faulty. I don't know. They could get downgraded overnight, and you come in the next day and it's down 5%, right? And again, I think it's just like I saw that story about about 3 or 4 years ago that there's one dude, I think from California, that put his whole life, not half, all of it into Bitcoin. And now the dude is like a billionaire, okay? So there are going to be plays where you can YOLO whatever you want. That's why, free market, you're allowed to put your money into something, but there's no way that I would have done that. And then you gave a $5 super chat. Okay, we're still covering it anyways. But the idea here would be that if you're going to do that, and it seems like that's the question, I would drop it off at this level here. Like if you break below 134 on this, take your 2 or 3% hit and get out. That, I mean, in that case, I don't mind that as a strategy. If you're going to put the money in there right now and you're going to be long, then you just got to have an out. That's it. So as a strategy, I actually don't mind it if you have the out. So have your out, and I got to reward people that are gamblers and that honestly want to take that risk, because otherwise you're gonna, we can all remain sheep and just sort of, I mean, look, I'm a value investor, right? I don't put anything, I hold like 40 names, right? So, I mean, I don't do this kind of a trading, but if you're gonna do it, I say good on you, man. We have traders on the floor here that will literally lose 300%, 500%, 1,000% of their stop, right? On one trade. That's not what I do. But if it pays off in the long run, and maybe you've made plays like this before, just have your risk, have your out. Thank you for the super chat.
All right, let's continue along. Walgreens, guys, raising their full year sales forecast, full year revenue forecast as well, pointing to the increased demand for COVID-19 testing throughout the U.S. So, I mean, this thing's already been on a pretty impressive move. Decent numbers here off earnings as well. I mean, this is going back to the beginning of December. We were all the way down here at 44 for WBA.
Yeah, they got like a dozen days in a row or something like that it's already been to the upside. And I sort of talked about this in the afternoon, maybe also at the end of the show yesterday. Probably in the afternoon for sure, though, that you were getting right up close to this 57, and that expected them to beat, and with maybe some rotation coming in, that this would be the name that would be a candidate to maybe bounce off of that high on pretty low volume this morning. Like it was already right up there at 56 and a half and it sort of slid down. So, I mean, it's on the radar just to quickly see if it tries to fail through the top and then profit taking happens. But that would have been, if it was a little bit closer to the top, that 56 half, that 57 area, I think it would almost be a bit of a no-brainer. I love the name, and I think it's probably going to work this year. Not probably, I think it's going to work this year as a name that you want to be in. But it's been on that run, and a lot of times you see that sort of seldom used kind of event. And if there is any kind of a that bounce back rally, which could happen in tech, I would expect something like a Walgreens too to have some profit takers in it, so that you can get the money that's been made out of that, and then try to find some deals. Like I'm sure there's shareholders of people that look at the chart of Pepsi or IBM that would be thinking the same thing after the run they've been on. If tech comes back even for a day or two, there's going to be some opportunity. So Walgreens, wish the volume was better. I would probably take a shot risk to reward if it hadn't already dropped $1, but that's essentially what you would be trying to capture on the trade, and it's already gone.
You know what? Like, honestly, I was reading, that's not you, Paul, from Cactus Club, I don't think. But look, I was just thinking about that super chat again. And honestly, you know what? If you have that out, like, I don't actually, if you have an out like that, I can't really fault, honestly, that kind of a play. I mean, I think that it's going to be, the only risk that I have in a play like that is just the overnight risk, because I think there's enough, obviously, liquidity in an AMD that you can get out if the bottom falls out of this thing. And again, like, some of us lose. Like, I don't know if you mentioned there on that, like, I'm kind of interested in this now, because I think that in this kind of an environment, you do have a chance to hit quite a nice home run right now, if you do have that risk management. And if you're going to use 133 or 134 or something like that as your out, then honestly, I forget what the price was that he put in there.
137.90 something.
Okay.
137, 138, I think, maybe.
Whatever it was. Yeah, so I mean, that makes it a little bit worse, because then you're going to lose $5. But again, if you put in $500,000 here, we can just do the math and figure out what percentage $5 down on 136 is. But it's only like 3 and a little bit percent. So, hey, you know what? The NASDAQ, like if you told somebody yesterday, I'm going to put in half my life savings into the Qs, right? And people on the chat and myself be like, oh, be diversified. Well, that's taking the NASDAQ, you're taking the 100 top stocks in the NASDAQ and putting your life savings in it. Well, yesterday you lost 3%, right? So, I mean, if you think the market's going to rebound, I don't know if this is the right time to do it, but, the more I think about it, it's not as bad as I thought if you have that mentality. And that's about all that I have to say. Like, you don't want to YOLO your life savings and hold it down to $100 or anything like that, because you don't want to lose that 40%. But, I think all of us can afford a little bit, especially if it's in, some kind of we have a tax-free savings account here, but, if it's in a decent account, I actually don't even mind that place. So the more I think about it, it's all about risk management, right? And we do the same thing here on the floor. And like that example that I gave about putting on an upsized risk position, as long as you have an out and you understand the downside, then I don't even really mind that there, Matt, or whoever that was with that super chat. So thank you for participating. What's up to Mike, man? I love the show. They tell you it might not work, but they'll try it. Yeah, exactly. So I tried that ears trade. I only said that I liked the 750 for a short, and then once it blew back there, no problem. But anyways, I was in that trade and told you guys why. And then AMC, hey, what's up, AMC? We like that. Retail investor will gather the people to fight the U.S. stock market manipulation. Yeah, let's go. Let's fry up those stock market manipulators right here and barbecue those guys up. What's up to all our AMC fans out there? Yesterday was a very rough ride for you. And today may not be too much better, but I wonder about the $20 level. I was looking at this last night and just thinking, like, is there some kind of a defense that's going to be happening pretty strong here? You do have a nice green candle. This is just a daily chart. When we got down here to 24, they bumped it huge back to 30. So, In the last 10 days, 9 of them have been red here on AMC. So again, I don't want to say like everybody unite here and let's get on the AMC train, because if you just go back a year today, this is Jan 6th, right? It might be hard to find that. We were still at last year, Jan 6 is right here. AMC, I was actually in calls just because it was a $2 level. I had no idea this was going to happen. But, it was $2.26 or so on January 6th. I mean, it could be, we're talking pennies there anyways. And today you're at $22. So you're basically still 10x from last year. Obviously, I can't be like supporting people that have still held it. I support you for your decision. It's your money, but I think most people probably would have got something out around here, if not even in the 30s. But if you're still holding on, hey, this isn't horrible, man. The times have changed. Like, you can trash talk AMC up here. Like, when it was going parabolic, sure. Obviously, all of us know it's not a value play. It's not based on valuation or anything like that. I know it's really funny, right? We don't even have theaters open in Ontario, okay?
I thought we're opening one in Brampton. No, just...
So they might be opening a theater, but right now you cannot go in to a theater in Brampton right now. They're closed.
Oh.
Doors closed. So, I think, and what I'm getting at here is AMC on a reopen, hot movies coming out. We've already seen Spider-Man. There's a chance for this thing to rally. So I do think there is a bull case for AMC, and thank you for the super chat.
Quickly, I just want to, only because of what I'm seeing on GameStop, I have to bring it up. It got crushed yesterday, obviously from 148 down like $20 almost from top to bottom. But if you look at the low in the afternoon, in the last hour, it was right here at 133. Take a quick look at the consolidation on volume. Like, it's kind of ridiculous, but there's clearly, it's not a lot of volume, but anytime you see barcoding like this, it kind of gives you that opportunity for a bit of a breakout. So I'm just seeing this and saying to myself, like 133.20, oh goodness, you take that top or even like a 133 even, the risk to reward gets pretty juicy. And those are the kind of things that traders will look for without necessarily endorsing, oh yeah, buy and hold GameStop. But yeah, just a little bit of interesting price action on GameStop this morning on low volume. Barcoding with a very, very defined top and bottom, to say the least.
All right, let's talk about Datadog here quickly. I want to make sure we get to Bed Bath & Beyond, so maybe we can jump through both of these at the same time. Datadog announcing aftermarket yesterday a new deal with Amazon Web Services, so AWS. Datadog got big time on that, 2.5% here in the pre-market, but not doing a heck of a lot, stuck between 148 and 150. Bed Bath & Beyond lower, or was lower, as we saw right off the bat, if you saw it, or if you joined us at 8:30. Missing by a quarter on EPS. Revenue was also lower than expected. It's the first company, though, guys, that I've heard or seen come out and comment saying their supply chain issues actually accelerated going into December.
I don't know, like everyone else, you're hearing sort of like the opposite, that we could be coming out of this, and I know it's in part for the course, but it was a bit of a concerning thing. I had to try it twice. One time actually missing my stops. I'll show you here, the 50 short, and then missed my stop at 75. Thankfully, it wasn't for as many shares as it possibly could have been, and then I shorted yesterday's high. Yesterday's support, and that was like that 1330. I was short in front of it at 13, and that stopped out. It then took out 15, and this is the way that you should probably safer play something with a short interest like this, is actually wait for it to turn past the key level, and 15 is the key level. If you go back to 15-minute chart, allow it to break a level like this, fail to get through the next high, and then once it fails, then you take your scalp short. So I did that like the second time through. If it was down here, I'd be saying, yeah, look for a 1380 break because it's put in that capitulation bottom. That's a bit of a different story to try it at 15 even. I think that's what a lot of people are going to be looking at here. If it had only gone one level, I'd probably go long. It's gone two. That kind of leads me to like sitting it out and hoping for there's an opportunity to short it higher. But if I do so, it's got to be the safer structure, not to stand in front of the level, but to allow the level to break and fail and come back to the downside. Like, that's the safer way to play something when it's a squeezable name or when it's a low float name, and not to stand in front of the moving train, but allow it to come back down through a key level like that. Quickly before we go to Brendan, never mind. Brendan's going to talk about this one.
I just want to talk about this guy Amar here on the chat. Like, this is exactly, and I'm glad we're having this talk here. Do you think putting your monthly savings in S&P 500 and dividend ETFs is a good idea? I'm a student and planning to do that for the next 10 to 15 years. So yes, sir, that is exactly, in my opinion, it's what I'm teaching my kids right now as we speak, to do exactly that. And it's by high quality companies, especially if you're a student, man. And this is the key thing, next 10 to 15 years. So if you want to invest in something, man, the S&P 500 and, whatever dividend ETF you want. I don't know if you want to get into an S&P 500 dividend-based ETF or whatever, but that is exactly the right thing to do. If you are young, just either pick the high-quality companies like Microsoft, Apple, things like that, or banks, whatever, or go into the S&P 500 or the Qs, or, and if you want to get a little bit risky on this one, Amar, you can go like 75% SPY, or that's not that risky, 60% SPY, maybe 20% Qs, and 20% ARC, something like that, if you wanted to get a little bit more upside. But right now, ears, we see you, ears, as you're starting to go right back up to the upside right now. 860 here on new high, I believe. Anyways, why is my 1 minute chart still on AMC? I have no idea. Yep, it's trying to, it's trying to approach right now that 880 with only 4 minutes to go here. Let's see where this goes off the open. I'm just holding this at this point. We've already made the money down here. It was a good reload at 8, but here we go. Ears, keep your ear to the ground for this one.
Yeah, lots of room on that if it wants to continue along. FRLN, another one popped up in the pre-market here on positive news. This one, however, very, very weak. Continues to be on daily time frame. We're just getting back to 3 and then 325 above that. You can go all the way back to 5 if you really want to get a lot higher. So just going to watch 3, which is just above us now, and then 325, which is essentially the day high. But this thing was down around 180 yesterday for FRLN.
Yeah, I was going to mention it, then I saw Brendan was going to talk about it as well. So I've scalped some out. I have a sort of different approach when that consolidation. I always try to scalp some out at the beginning. I'm also sitting here for a potential pop. Like if it does pop in to this VWAP 290 level, then I'll try to play it. I actually traded this like when I sat down right off that same price level in front of $3, reversed into a long that as usual I didn't really hold very long. Once it's back below, it's to the same plan. Fail break at 3, and then you go back to the lower consolidation. So that's that one in a nutshell for me. Just a reminder, this ATHE, which is also on our watch list. News, actually no, ATHE does not make the watch list, actually, I'm pretty sure. But here we go. I always say this, caution at that dollar level, pretty obvious to see. Anytime a stock or a penny stock tries to get back above, it was only down there for like about a month or just over a month, they run into those delisting problems, and then when news catalyst comes through, there is some incentive to try to hold it above. And currently, it's holding that $1 level. So I basically have nothing left. If it bounces off $1, I'd only reload right at the top, like not at 105, not at 110, up at like 115 in front of 120, or at 125 in front of 130, anticipating that the dollar bounce at the open usually has a little bit of juice to it there. So that's just for trading penny stocks. I'm also looking at, if you were watching the afternoon show yesterday, Peloton is still at that $32 level. Well, close enough to that $32 level that it made at the low. It held it after the Fed came through. You got a low, basically the same thing right now. It's pennies away from it. That's a break I'm looking to take, but it's predefined. If I get into that break, the pre-market high is my out. Plain and simple. If it breaks down, I'll take 32 short, but I'm not letting it get past the pre-market high, because if any of these names reverse today, like that is something you do not want to be averaging into, I don't think. Because it could get really, really ugly really fast. So if the momentum stays to the downside, fine, like you've got yourself a good short, but you got to have an out if you're trying to short bottoms like this in Peloton. Like you look at the daily chart on Peloton, it's like, look how far you got to go back. Like these are some crazy levels that you're at in the stock. Were to reverse, 10% is nothing in the grand scheme of things, but that would really stink if you're day traded short 32. You don't want to lose $3.
Watch out here, NASDAQ obviously cracking lower right now. I don't know, big move down. We're nowhere near anymore that 16,000. So we'll wait to see here what happens with the NASDAQ. Starting to crack 15.7 right now. Broke through there. So we'll have to watch out for the NASDAQ right now, getting a little nasty. The only bid that I have, okay, so Lucid's all the way up. I was going to say, I do have some low bids. Oh, one name we didn't talk about, SoFi, with only a minute to go here. Yeah, about SoFi. I'm waiting for a little lower on this name as well. I'm basically going to be hands off for the first little bit here as the market opens up. SoFi, again, just tank city in the last couple of days, right back down into the low, all-time low here on SoFi. Obviously, it was a SPAC, but we'll talk about it since it's turned over. So right here, 1350 coming into play again for SoFi. So we are waiting lower for a bid on this name. But wow, another name that's been cracked. Disney, another name that I'm waiting for lower bids. These are all on the sticky notes. So we'll wait to see, though. Disney up today, or up today, actually, 0.4. So I thought it was a little down, but no, it's not. Oh, yeah, there it goes. Just a little bit of a bump up right now for some reason, up to 156. But down here to 155 on Disney. We'll see if that can come through. And then Ford, we have a dip buy as well. And then we're waiting for WFC. So we'll see if we get into anything. Right now, we'll just watch that ears and see where that goes from here. But so far, so good today. Let's just wait for the countdown to drop. In about 15 seconds, the market will be open. And here we go, guys. Let's watch out for Lucid off the open.
Absolutely, and still watching that GameStop, the tight consolidation. NVIDIA for a basic failed breakdown. Miss V's on the bell in the Carolina Blue. Let's get it locked and loaded. Hope for recovery, 2 and 1. There we go. Market is open. I mean, right now, I'm still staring at that GameStop, if only because you don't really see consolidations like that too often. It's trying to take out that top at 133. Oh my goodness, did it get there? Yeah, no chance. It just spiked to 135, 136 instantly. Is it going to come back? Yeah, I was able to get like 133.50s there. That's crazy because that was real, by the way. Like the spread on GameStop opened up to literally like almost like $5 on not $5, like $3 on GME. Just going to quickly refresh there, but the consolidation was absolutely real. I'm going to see if I can't scalp some out for like $1.50 on this, but crazy move. It was just some weird consolidation on this name. Peloton broke that low of the day. I just rang the register on some of that GameStop. So again, the consolidation was everything. It was just about the price action. And then Peloton through that 32, so going in the other direction. This is it. It actually just smoked 32. I'll zoom out so you can see in perspective.
Smoking.
Goes down to 31.60 and has the snap back. If this takes out the pre-market highs, I'm out of this thing. Like, there's no way I want that reversal hanging around my neck.
All right, let's look out for this YOLO trade here as right now AMD coming back up to the upside. So a nice little trade here for AMD on the day, man. Up that 1%. So there we go. A nice little move and a nice runner here for AMD as it's starting to go upside. This might be a fade, though, as AMD, like it shouldn't be going up like this. But look at the NASDAQ. It's starting to go. Look at Mr. Softy. We're into Lucid right now as well. MSFT. Softy going to the downside. That's what I want to look at right now. Down to 314 here now for Microsoft. So this stock going the opposite way right now of what the NASDAQ is doing. Robinhood down to 15 and change, getting cracked on Robinhood. And then, wow, Microsoft really getting hit down to the downside right now. We'll have to see if there's some key levels. But we are into right here off of Is Lucid, I mean, obviously it's open, it's a NASDAQ name, but that's quite a big spread there for them. We'll see where Lucid goes now, but we are long this name back at 36.11, trying to play off that 35, I think it was 35.50 or so here it is right here.
Spreads are a thing, man.
Yeah, 35.50 on Lucid. We don't want to hold it too far past that. So, it's a big day today. Just hold your shares and let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here looking at the spreads on GameStop. It's crazy. Like, it's maintaining, even though we're open a couple of minutes now, it's maintaining these monster spreads up here. I'm going to try and take it out in front of the high. Like, it's just, look, that to me, that's a gift horse. It's a simple consolidation break. If it's going to feed me like $3 or $4, I'll let other people try and diamond hands, a thing like that. I'm getting in, I'm getting out, I'm taking the profit. What's not going to end up working is get that Peloton. I said, you got it. Well, I shouldn't jinx myself already, but it breaks down downside through 32. I get slipped all the way to 92. If it takes out the high, like that was a pretty good wick down to have missed it. It just happened so incredibly fast that I wasn't able to capture it. Unfortunately, that's going to happen to you sometimes. I could have scalped it out if I was a little bit faster, but was managing other names. That ATHE that I talked about, if it bounces off $1, be patient. It bounces all the way into that high. Wait until it comes back down. It fails to get through, like even the 1/4, comes back down below that 120 mark that I like. I short 118. It's already headed to 110. If you can't figure by now, get some out in front of $1, anticipating that it could still want to hold that level. This is what penny stocks do. That number is something that a lot of people like to defend. Plus, because it's an obvious, if you take a long on it at 1 or 2, where's your out going to be? It's pretty obvious.
Yes, sir. Okay, so Lucid. Okay, so Lucid was the one that just dropped off, actually, down through. This could be one that we take long now. Let's just wait to see what does happen with Lucid. We want to check back on Rivian. SoFi, we got that bid down here, so we like that trade. Let's see if SoFi wants to work back up to the upside right now. Here it goes. So we're long at 76 here on SoFi. Hopefully this one wants to continue its move up through 14. Was that Brendo? What's up, bud?
A few of the chip makers, guys, pretty volatile here at the open. TSM right out of the gate. Huge volume spike back to the upside. Tested that pre-market high, but here we go back lower again. So volatility and volume to deal with in some of the chip makers.
Shoot, man.
Yeah, and of course, like this is the fault of GameStop. Well, it's my fault. NVIDIA does the pop the fade at the bottom, don't get through the low, and then break out the high. So the reverse of that trade happens in NVIDIA, and I've missed it. I'm going to look to see if I can catch any kind of a bid here, because the reversal is what you want. I'm not going to complain. GameStop was pretty good, and the second I saw that setup, that consolidation, you almost have to have it there. But if I can try to catch a bid back in front of that breakout at 78, if it's even possible to get it, that's what you want.
Yes, sir. Right now, SoFi, guys, off to the races here with a big win for me here on SoFi, taking out that Lucid loss. Let's go back over to Lucid quickly and see. We said we'd be very, very patient. Yeah, see Lucid right back up. Like, again, there we go. Made that bottom wick, so good for me on that one. Let's just go long Lucid again here. But, wow, did we make a mistake on that one? Like, we basically have that bottom, but it breaks 50, and that's that. And then we also sniffed out. That's too bad. Oh, well, whatever. We said we would try to be patient today with some of the trades, but that broke our level. So there it goes. And I smelt out Microsoft this morning and didn't take the long because we were in the other longs, but that was a worker for sure as Microsoft hits that bottom and now comes right back up. So, yeah, man, the market is rocking right now. Good trading. SoFi, I mean, number one stock there. EAR, I don't know, not really doing much here, but we're right back to where we got out. So we'll have to wait to see what EAR wants to do right now. Again, over at the big desk.
Nikola making moves, guys. Another order coming through for Nikola today. 10% to the upside. Held 10 there at the open on that dip lower. Ripping now back higher for NKLA.
It's the same across the board. We're just saying it's all the same thing here. It's like fail to break the bottom, snap back up, and break out. It's like, what's the point of even saying it if I'm not going to be in any of these trades? Affirm at $80. NVIDIA just went as well. What hasn't gone, which I'm going to go to, which I'm going to pull up right now, is there we go. Tesla. Like Tesla did have the dip at the open, tried to break out through the top, and then couldn't go. So, this one still might be in play if we're going to actually continue this. And Tesla, like I said yesterday, Tesla is a little bit of its own beast, but if we can reclaim this high, maybe take out a 185, I might try a breakout on Tesla here, if only because it's the only thing that hasn't really gone yet that presents you with an opportunity for a recovery. Now, obviously, when you trade Tesla, understand that you're not talking about $1 or $2. It's $5, $10 type moves.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about all the time, guys, with risk management, right? There's nothing that's more important, obviously, than risk management. So you gotta try to manage your positions and just be smart with everything that you're doing here. With that being said, okay, we've managed a little bit of risk here on SoFi, taking out. Again, I think only half. So we've taken out a half on SoFi there. Ford, and again, this is what we're trying to do, man. We're trying to be a little patient here. Ford comes down right into that level. They did make a move to the upside. It's getting pretty spicy down here. We're long in the 60s. Ford, maybe a dip down here below 50. So that's going to be the out. If Ford takes out 50, we're going to be out on that one. I'd hate to miss this one, but we are long right now on Ford. So this is a decent spot for me. Let's see if it can go back up to the upside. Ford, EAR moving around, SoFi, and then we're into Palantir as well for a small spot.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not quite at the point where GM would start to hit that cluster that I like in GM, that 60.5 to 61. It's getting pretty close. It's not quite there yet. This FRLN is starting to is continuing to absolutely flush. And the recent high was down here to about 215. I think that's the ultimate out. So that's what I'm going to have to look for. That ATHE, which I was in, which I'm still in actually, on that pop. Right back down to 105 and then finds another bottom. So if it tries to break back out, there's no averaging in. Bounces off $1 enough times, you do not want to be averaging into it. It's just sort of prolonging the death. We're just going to continue to try to take profit down here at like 4s, 5s, and 6s the best we can. And if it takes out the top, just run away from that stock. Tesla did just pull back a little bit here, so might have missed out on that opportunity. And like I said with Peloton, didn't want to get trapped. If it was a failed breakdown short, get out of it. Did not get the reversal in Peloton. I don't like the long chasing at $1. I'd much rather do that in a better name. Like I'd do that in a chip maker.
Yeah, exactly. There goes, okay, here goes Ford, man. Yes, sir. Big trade here for me on Ford. A nice move to the upside. We definitely, this is my biggest position of the day down there. You know, we try to take the strong names, put them on the board, and then hit those. So, unfortunately, I put an offer here on SoFi, but we didn't get it. I put it at 15 on the way back down. I didn't even realize we went all the way to 25 there. Now that I look at a chart, man, this is the problem with when you're doing what we're doing. It's hard to sort of keep your eyes on everything now, but I am looking at Ford right now, up into the 80s. Oh man, I wish. See, this is what I mean about having no diamond hands here, because if I just had held all of this, then that would be that for the day. But right now, Ford, a big time move to the upside. Really, really happy with cashing in on that. What worked yesterday, maybe not working today. Look at IBM down again, not again, down today, only that 1%, but you could see starting to fade out a little bit. We talked about, you know, being a big winner in the last little while here for IBM, but now today, I guess, people rotating back in. Maybe. I don't think the rotation's here yet, but maybe rotating back in. Okay, so Palantir just dumped again. So we did take a long there in Palantir. Not a very big one, but it is dumping back down. Watch out for the 1670. We're talking about being patient. Wow, Ford. Okay, Ford. Beautiful move up into the 90s now, but Palantir, the opposite right now, getting slapped down. We're going to find some longs. What's up over there at the desk?
BBBY just making day highs here as well on volume there. I guess it was 1550 had some volume go off, and there goes 16 as well. Now 20%, guys, for Bed Bath & Beyond.
Oh man, we said
it just put a wick top. I was watching ear because that's starting to roll over a little bit, and then of course Bed Bath & Beyond breaks to 16. I'm looking to see if it can hold a bid. Right now it's a bit of a battle before I would want to jump in and try and scalp that long trade. If it snaps back down, I think, like I said, like the safer way to play short is to try to get it on the way back in. Tesla, by the way, reversed off of that high. So it looks like it's not breaking imminently here. That's actually coming back down a little bit. Looks like it's going to be, they're holding the bid here on Bed Bath & Beyond, so it's going to be worth it trying to try it here. And again, sometimes you can have 01s and 02s. I just wanted to see if there were buyers holding it up here a little bit longer before I try to jump into the fray. I don't think you're necessarily giving it up anyways till about 1575. The other name, now that I'm into this and finally got it, EAR just rolled over through 750. If it bounces and tries to get back up into VWAP here, like 780 to $8, I'll probably try shorting it. But this one might have already gotten away from me because I think I might have missed the rollover when it broke that 780 level the first time.
And guys, like, what in the heck right now? We come flying in with Ford. Wow, unbelievable movement here for Ford. That name just on one today, up big time here on this trade. I don't even know what to say about this other than wow, as Ford just keeps on making that move all the way to the upside, man. We have this. We have the very bottom in this name, so making my Lucid dump off seem a little bit better now, as we basically we have 10 times the shares in Ford that we do in Lucid. So just to give you an idea there, well, we don't have any more. SoFi is disappointing because I missed that bump up. Should have had that. That's another name. And then we did get back into Palantir. So we were long there on Palantir at 88, and we just took an 02 bid out there. So making a little bit of money back on this name, but I don't know, maybe we'll get out of the rest of Ford. We still have a third of this Ford trade as it just motors on to the upside. Mr. Wiggins?
The money being put to work, it would appear, guys. Adobe just popping up here. Individual names that don't usually pop up on volume scanners popping up this morning. Adobe on the move here, up 2%.
I didn't get filled on GM, but that's making a run as well. Tesla's now coming back towards that high. BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond, is trying to make that push. If it gets past that 38 high currently, I want to take some out in front of 50s and then reevaluate every quarter, every 50. The next thing I want to go back to is Tesla. Looked like it was going to break, then slammed to the bottom. I pulled my stop because I don't like having stop breakout orders when it's too far away from the price. Now it's heading right back up to that 1085 level up at the top. I see a wick. I mean, my high of the day says 1088. From what I can see, 85 legitimately is the high. So I'm going to looking for that to break.
And there's Palantir again, man. So we're, got beat up early on this stock. There it is. Come on, Kathy. Let's go, Kathy. Right there to the upside there. But we'll see what happens now as BBBY. Yeah, easy money today for sure. I missed it, though. We put that on. 42% short float, man. It is on the sticky note today. All about that. And, thank you also. Thank you to Mookie Wilson for putting this on the sticky note. This is pretty good little movement here, some nice little head movement there on that. But you can see the Soul Train is back in the building. Violent pre-market. I said take the pre-market break. But unfortunately, we were too busy into this, and you could see Bed Bath & Beyond, although the pre-market break would have been right here at 1560, that would have given you about $1. Watch for it to pull back down now as some of that excitement may be over with. I am still in awe of this Ford trade. Not often do I hold things that go this fast, like this far, this fast. So really, really happy. We did just get some out at the 18s there on Ford. No surprise if it pulls back. Let's take another piece out here maybe as it is starting to pull back in. We are very light on this name now, but still nicely working. Palantir is another one that's 10 cents in the money. But SoFi right now does rip all the way to the top side there, and we didn't get anything out at the top. So that was bad. There's the 15 that we talked about. I didn't even realize it went all the way up there, but that would have been a monster out to take that. So we'll see if it can get back upside. I think if it takes out 25, then maybe we get back up, but I want to see some more action here. Maybe 14.35 would be another punch long here on SoFi. I don't even want to reload. I'm happy with the positions we have right now. There goes Palantir. Finally, let's go Palantir. Let's Gronk spike that one back to day's high. What's up, B?
Another one bouncing here, guys. Beyond Meat from yesterday was under my chart, is not moving. But if you look at yesterday, big move down, as did the rest of these, but just taking out day highs here for Beyond Meat.
Yeah, and just quickly looking here, just by the way, Tesla, its close was at 188 there, so I was misreading. That bad print was probably just yesterday's close. I don't think I'm doing anything till it moves at least $5. I look at yesterday's range, at least in the afternoon on the 15-minute, and I look at that 1100 and think that's like the reasonable target. So you want to hold on to what I said. You can't think about $2 when trying to make a play like this. So I'm going to stick to that rule. That ATHE, however, whoops. Remember we talked about this breaking that, or not breaking that dollar level? It does not. We were able to get some out at 105. It's now looking like it wants to take out the top. I'm not going to let this thing sort of break the back above 125. If it gets above that price, I'll try to reevaluate it at that particular point. Just looking back over at NVIDIA, it continues its break, but it's starting to consolidate a little bit, and the market's starting to turn. So if there's going to be a chance for a dip, and this is going to be a true rally, I think that's going to come in the next couple of minutes. Looking for the test back to 279.50, not 280 on NVIDIA.
And a great job there. I was just reading some of the chat here. Goldman, what's up? Talking about straight to the upside goes Facebook. A shout out to you, Stephen. I believe it was, Stephen Howard. You took 580 on Facebook. Absolutely fantastic, guys. Like good runs today for everybody. And I'm going to give a big congratulations to everybody out there. And let's just dap it up. One is me, one is you. We'll give props to everybody there today as wow. Yeah. So what was a nasty sort of ride yesterday, definitely paying off nicely today for many of us here, as some of the stocks that we were sort of got beat down on yesterday came right back in for us. And let's just keep on trading some of these names that are working out. NVIDIA up 1.73%. You see the NASDAQ is back a little bit. The one name, what was that, Prad? Oh, Prad has his headphones on. I didn't know if he was a stock. He
just took them off, so I don't know. He might have just heard you.
Prad, what stock you trading? Oh, buyout stock. Okay. 317, 318, 319. I was just looking at Softy here. It's turning red, which is a strange one. This might be a fade here. So just watch out for that here on Microsoft. This might be one to fade. It's not as aggressive today as the market, so we're going to watch out for that. AMD as well is positive, but not by a whole hell of a lot. Bed Bath & Beyond running. There's my XLE again that we talked about over and over the last couple weeks there on XLE. We're in it, but I'm not in it as much as I want to be, but that's another name right there. Hey, if Facebook is going to start going upside, let's have a quick look at that. Then what about Roblox? So that's another name that I want to look at here. Facebook up that 1.4. Yeah, look at that. Straight to the upside. Great trade there. Whoever had that. Shout out to you, Steven, as well. What a good, what a good day this has been so far to trade. So congratulations to everybody that's made some money on the long or the shorts that apparently look to be coming back in right here.
Yeah, I mean, I just got into EAR for the first time. Looks like Tesla might not go. It might be the weaker name here. It's going to test that bottom. I just got a consolidation bid in there on Tesla to add to the position. As long as it holds the low, I'm going to like it. EAR is the other direction. I'm trying to short this name in front of that $8 range. Look, this got as high as $9. Like I said, it is free to short. It could end up pretty crowded if people try to short this because you don't actually have to pay for borrow. So day traders will probably be all over this. I just got a dip buy in NVIDIA as well. So I'm going to start working into that. And then I want to come back over to ATHE. As long as this one wants to fail to get through the high, now that it's failed through 125, on the way back down, it's safer to get in. Not stand in front of the train, but try to catch it on the way back to the downside.
All righty then. Yeah, so let's have a quick look at Rivian. Oh, well, let's have a look at Lucid, because Lucid's the only negative stock that we have on today. And I feel like it's probably bouncing. Yeah, it's bouncing way off our low. I mean, I have the low of the day. That's embarrassing. Thank God we have the Ford long there as well. But that's a trade that's not working out today, Lucid. Let me go over to Rivian. Lucid's just too choppy. I don't like that trade. It's too choppy right there. Rivian, not choppy at all, it doesn't look like. See the difference here between Lucid and Rivian? Rivian basically straight down after making a 92 high there, goes right back to the pre-market levels, which was Rivian, and then just collapsing downside right there. So yeah, Rivian not having a nice day today. There's no bottoms on this name. This is already, every move down is a new all-time low for Rivian. So yeah, we do have a bottom today, I believe. Is that today's bottom? Yeah, 84.62 right there. So if you did want to go long on this name, I'm not sure it's ready yet, but you do have that. Wow, what a crazy move that was early. Wow, that actually happened, eh? Down to 84.60 there on Rivian. So that's something to look out for right here. Roblox, yeah, man, we're long 77, and this came back in a big time hurry. Roblox, we were getting some out upside, so that's good. Like I don't even think I have half of this anymore. But wow, this has come way back in here, down to 87 bucks from a big dump yesterday, from like 100 down to 88 yesterday. So what is that bottom right here? 86 and change. So yeah, looking to pick up some Roblox here maybe if the market tries to battle back. But yeah, don't trade a weak name here. This NASDAQ is falling. We got to find something else.
Yeah,
maybe
it's getting crushed. We're about to take up the low on Tesla. So that is one of the weakest names I can find. I just stopped out on Tesla through the low of the day, and I'm looking for something that's going to be a little bit weaker. I have a few shorts on, but those are all in small cap territory at this point. And I'm looking to add to this. I mean, Rivian's getting crushed. I was looking at Tesla getting crushed. I'm going to go back to Peloton. Looks like it's making a bit of a turn here. If this gets back down through like a 32.50, that could be the place to go. But there is a reversal happening, and I was looking over at the names that I said if those go down, you might have a bit of a bid in GM, but that's starting to roll over as well. So I'm going to cancel this bid on GM, because I don't really think if it comes down to that price, I'm going to want it. That's actually almost set up for another reversal to the short side. So at this point, I'm not even liking some of these longs unless it's a more quality type of name. It would have to be a bounce in something like a GM that would entice me. I just got more shares into ATHE, more shares into EAR as well. ATHE, look, 120 is the top there. EAR just started to roll over. If it breaks 720, I'm looking to add to that position, not take it off. It's more about getting down to this 680 level. So I want to see 7 break. It's got a lot of room to go. It's a $4.50 stock. I think the volatility could be through the roof.
Okay, so we're just looking here at Palantir. We just reloaded back up right now on this name. Good bunch of outs here on Ford. Like we mentioned, you take that momentum, and I said, I couldn't believe that I was still holding on to such a decent amount of that trade as it was ripping to the upside, but then we get conservative and get out, and now we have literally 10% left on this one. And there again, there's another one. We're not diamond handing everyone. I hit the wrong button there, but we are... right here, guys, on Palantir, as that's a reload that we're pretty happy with. We just took a decent position again down here at 1680, playing off some of these bottoms. I realize this is the bottom, but if we break 1680, then we're out. We're just cashing in, man. Cash, cash, cash. That's all we can really do right now is try to, find the right plays, try to cash in on them. So here goes upside on Palantir. If the market wants to rally, we've got it. If not, we're trying to scalp a little bit out now anyways. So Palantir, a nice little trade here for me. Brendan again.
Stitch Fix having a nice day as well, guys. They announced a new, wait for it, there it is, buyback, 150 million in share buyback from SFIX today, up 5%.
Stitch Fix looking, it's an interesting name. I'm more looking at that NVIDIA, looking for something a little bit more quality to catch a bid. Like we said, if you could try something off of that low, Tesla was just a watershed. It's down at 1050 right now. So that was a fail breaking the other direction. NVIDIA is actually trying to climb back to the upside. So I think the chips are a bit safer place to get back in. So hopefully, I haven't checked AMD, but I'm going to guess for our friend who did that super chat, might have a decent chance. If we hold some of these lows, I'm just looking at NVIDIA because that's what I'm trading, decent chance you might be able to bank on that one. And if you're using it as a swing, which like we said is probably the better way to go about that kind of a thing when you're going for half your life savings, that's what I would try to do. I would try to take that profit. One other name that I'm very, very interested in is going to be in the healthcare sector. Daily chart is an absolute mess. Just watching a break on a stock DHR that I really like. If it comes back up to like 305, I think that could put in a false break. 295 is good support on this particular one. It's been selling off pretty heavily. I think healthcare is taking a bit of a beating, and there's going to be some deals to be had in the upcoming days.
Okay, here we go, guys. Yeah, Danaher, that's surprised it's down that low.
3 days in, well,
yeah, you don't
3
really,
out of 4 days.
You don't really get too many moves like that. So yeah, that's probably a good value name there. You've been talking about that for a bit. So Danaher, yeah, and again, diversify your bonds. You know, get some different plays in there with Wu-Tang Financial and get into that. So Baba come down. Okay, we will look at Alibaba, but okay, one more time. Right here for SoFi. So SoFi, so good today, but not so far so good. What was that? Ooh, Rivian down to 85 from the man, the myth, the legend himself. At Trader Prad is in the building. Throw Trader Prad on the screen here. Let's give a big shout out to Trader Prad for shouting out some names. There he is. What's up, Trader? Yeah. Look at that focus face. Yeah, let's go, Trader Prad. That's his business face right there, guys. So Trader Prad looking at Rivian. Let's go over there and have a quick look again. Thank you, Prad, for that. Yeah, wow.
That's a crazy
Okay, Rivian. Yeah, no profits, no trucks, no problems for Rivian, but I know they have some in production, but there we go, man. You don't, today is not, and we talked, you can go back, man. We put out videos in December, early December, saying that, 2022, you don't want to be. As soon as I heard Powell come out, I mean, we all did, not just me, but when we all heard what Powell was talking about, it was not the year of growth stocks. And right now, Rivian continuing to get pummeled, breaking through 85. Thank you to Mr. Trader Prad there for that shout out. Adios, Rivian. Adios.
Yeah, and if you want to look at something which is going to be on the other end of the spectrum, there was earnings on a name which is a little bit different from some of these. Walgreens, of course, is on the NASDAQ. Neil, I don't know why I always think it's on the New York. But you're going to see this. Give me a break. There we go. Now it's going to load up. Is it actually going to load? Thank you. Walgreens getting a bit of a bid here, so I'm looking for places that I like alongside of a trade. Walgreens on earnings is a more defensive type of name here. The pullback was profit taking off of this high at 57, and it was on such a good run. But you've got a bit of a wick bottom as well that holds some pretty good support down at 52. So if I got to try to bottom pick something, I think I like this a little bit better. Nvidia is trying to hold up. It's holding the low for now. 75, 76 is the low on Nvidia. So that's where the line in the sand is going to be drawn. I think Walgreens is going to be a similar type of play. We're getting close to that $8 level in that ear, so time for a reload on that one.
Ooh, $8 on ear. Okay, maybe we'll just take that profit out now because we've been sitting in this for a while here. Yeah, that's a good out. I think I'll probably take this on ear right now as it's just touched VWAP right there again. We'll just take the profit out. Ear's been obviously a good trade for us, but not a heavy one. It's just been sort of sitting there for me, just trying to see if it wants to explode one more time, but it did bounce off that 730. Yeah, maybe we'll hold it a little bit. We'll see here. I guess my Bed Bath & Beyond's not getting filled down there at 1280 or whatever I had it on. Quick checkout here on that name. Ooh, maybe. Nice little dump off back in for Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't want to go long now based on the short. The shorts already took this upside where I guess shorts getting blown out, down 42%. The short interest, what I had written down there, so we missed that trade. But there it goes all the way back up to the upside. All right, so I guess I don't have a stop for SoFi.
I just missed the ear. Oh my goodness.
Oh, ear just faded back in. Yeah. So there goes ear back fading in. SoFi back down to 1350. This is the low. So let's punch one more ticket long and get out at 1350. SoFi not working. And I just said, why do you want to be in companies that don't make money? And again, here I am trying to maybe bottom pick this SoFi. Well worth the risk reward here. 5 cents worth of risk to see if SoFi gets back upside. I'm taking this trade.
Yeah, ear, by the way, ear just popped up into VWAP. It didn't break 8. It gets to VWAP, doesn't break 8. That's the rollover that I'm looking to try to add in. I didn't get it. You can see how hard it slapped to the downside. I'm on the bid in this cluster at 85 to 7 evens. Just going to quickly show you guys the NASDAQ here because we are sort of bouncing back down, at least a little bit. This is a 60-minute chart. But the ES, on the other hand, that's actually right back through 4,700. I'm sort of looking at it. ES is sort of breaking some levels, and the NASDAQ is trying to do its best to hold up. But all ships are now starting to head back into the downside. So looks like we're just going to be weak. The only long I have is an NVIDIA. Tesla didn't work. It's the shorts that are coming in once again today. So looks like it's going to be one of those days.
Ooh-wee doggy. Yeah, so we're just basically, we're reloading a lot of these stocks here as Ford just got reloaded again as well. We're playing off Ford. I mean, Ford can't lose, so it doesn't really matter, but we're going to wait to see 2350 coming in on Ford right now. Stock's getting clapped again, man. Snapchat 52-week low. SoFi just broke, by the way, so we gave back our profits and going to be flat on SoFi today as we tried that long and we just tried to make that base down there, but SoFi clapped as well down to the downside right now, so everything getting taken, I guess, to the woodshed right now again today. So back-to-back days here for the NASDAQ. The problem is today, honestly, the ES is also turning. So the ES is down just as much today as the NAS. So that's not good. So everyone trying to hide out today. Peekaboo, you've been found. Nowhere to hide in this market today. So we'll wait to see what happens to the upside. But I like Ford. We know Ford's been strong. So we're going to try to trade Ford. A little more action on this one. Oh, another one
Even the bank's starting to come down here.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think there's anywhere to hide today, man. So we'll wait to see where we go. But for now, nowhere.
Yeah, and that's what we're getting at here. Like I'll get to FRLN because that's like that stock. But the movers are what matter at this point. But checking back on BAC, obviously it's not going to make the breakout, so I'm not in it, but it's starting to come back in. If this can hold, I think maybe this is going to be a place to go. NVIDIA's trying to hold that 75 level. I'm not sure it's going to be able to do it, but I'm kind of looking at this. And then Peloton just breached. Whoops, not Peloton. I actually meant a firm there. Well, they're not the same thing, but kind of the same thing. Just breached 77. The spread opened up. So like, if I can quickly show you guys a level 2. Yeah, like the spread opened up below, but the offer didn't trail below 77. So no one was selling below 77, but the bid dropped into the 80s. A lot of times that can mean a little bit of a failed break, so I'm not triggered into a bottom end short. If anything, I'll try to short the pop there. I'm holding on to one long and one long only. I talked about ear missing that opportunity. If it breaks here at 720, that's when I'm going to start getting some shares out. That one might be done. Like it already capitulated off the top. It then just tried to capitulate off VWAP. It maybe has one more move in it, and that would be holding this cluster here and then trying to bust back to the upside. If it does that, fair enough. I think it might still be able to go. But right now it's looking like it's getting a bit weak. The market, yeah, the NASDAQ's trying to hold up, but I'm not sure it's going to be able to do it here. The ES heading down to 4670. I think the banks are one of the last stages that we can get, that we can find some support. And then checking back in on, as I watched on my quote board, checking back in on even materials.
Yeah.
Like US Steel is about to crack $25 to the downside. So that tried to run and also faded. Nowhere to run to, nowhere to hide so far today in the morning.
Yeah, no, faux show right now. Yeah, right now has been a little bit of a crazy runner here. We are into Disney right now for the first time, so we'll see if Disney can get going now. Oh my God, some of these stocks just continue to make lower lows here as we go. Ford just chilling out, though, at this bottom. This is a name that I like from here. Good thing we dumped out of SoFi. SoFi going to the downside now as well. So, wow, what another crazy day. Welcome. I told you today's show would be great. And here we go. Happening now over there at the big screen. Let's throw it over to Big Dog Brendan.
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock, ISM Services PMI just at 67.6 versus 66.8, so lower than expected on that number this morning. Yeah, everything back in negative territory here. The S&P leading the way, 0.35, or the Dow, I should say, 0.35 for the S&P, the Dow 0.43. You can see strength in small caps here still hanging on. The Russell 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, all in positive territory. The NASDAQ, both the composite and the 100, back in negative territory. Same story here in Toronto. 0.25%. Resource stocks under pressure once again. So 0.25% for the TSX. Couple of things we were discussing, guys. WBA, Walgreens back to the downside. 53 trying to hold right now. But what a move back down right out of the gate this morning from the open. WBA under pressure after earnings. Same story for Bed Bath & Beyond. It did try, got above 16, but all the way back to where we started the morning as well for BBBY, guys.
Ooh, it seems like yesterday, but this was only a half an hour ago. Like GameStop was a consolidation break. And then look at the turn. Like, I don't even know why I wasn't, again, failed break to the upside and then comes back to the downside. It should have been in this reversal to the short side. I don't know why I was trying too many longs today. It's like sometimes you just got to go with the direction. And this was maybe a little bit obvious. Once it got back through that pre-market low, at 130, it's gonzo. I'd short a pop here, if only because the trend is your friend, and you are now bursting through most recent support at 125. Like this could, I mean, we could be seeing at 115, 120. Like GameStop has so much room that it could head to the downside. Nvidia is going to do this, as that just broke the low. So that's what we're doing with the market, just getting absolutely clapped. I'm now just holding on to ATHE, EAR, and FRLN shorts, and then starting to think about where can I get in, whether it's GameStop on a pop to the south side. Whoops, a firm that's a daily chart. A firm just went through, like it just actually held that 77 as we're talking.
77?
So yes, 77 the bottom. Again,
oh God,
failed break to the upside and then smacked to the downside there. I mean, every chart I pull up kind of looks almost exactly the same. Not everything, but just about everything looks about the same. I'm looking over at Walgreens, which is the only thing that I'm bidding that isn't to cover a short right now. And if I'm bidding something else, then I shouldn't be. And of course, it's still on the NASDAQ, Neil. Walgreens is still on the NASDAQ. And I'm right here just around that 52 and 5280 level. It's trying to hold a higher low. I kind of look at what it's doing right now and say to myself, why sit below this support? I might as well just try to take it. If I'm going to take it in front of 53 and see if it can hold it. EAR is still in the pocket. I'm short 750. It's at about 738. That doesn't mean anything till it gets down closer to $7.
All right, let's go here, guys. Ape Nation on the loose right now. Let's go to the upside now, AMC. Come on, you can do this. We're long on AMC here. We tried to pick the bottom up. Let's see what happens now on AMC. Back upside right now. Who knows? Yeah, let's go. Come on. I mean, maybe AMC's the one that we can have right now. Already low. Look at the resistance here at 21. What the hell? Let's take another piece out here at 21. No idea why it's doing this. It doesn't want to break through 21 right now on AMC. And there it goes. Yes, big time win right now for AMC as we load it up right now on that name. So a good win there for us on AMC. Let's see if it takes out the bottoms. That's what we're going to do. We're going to hold now on AMC. Hold the line on this one and see if we can get back here like famous Ja Rule was saying back when AMC was going nuts about a year ago on that one. So big one. Trader Prad making big time moves over there. Let me know in chat what that stock was.
Rivian is down at 78.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Like, look at Rivian is getting absolutely destroyed here. I mean, the 15, who cares like what chart you look at? It doesn't even matter. Like, it's getting absolutely cracked. Like, this is kind of on this stock, or at least on some of these EV names and the high valuation names, it is kind of a flash crash. So usually when you see this, and I remember the actual flash crash, unless you're already short and holding on to it, one of the things that you're basically doing is if it halts down or you're thinking about any kind of a turn, there's probably $5. There's probably at least $3 in it.
Yeah.
But I mean, trying to guess at it, you want it to almost bounce a little bit first before you jump in. Now we're down 14% on Rivian. I haven't looked at Lucid or NIO or some of the other names. I'm just looking at Tesla and Rivian. And it's like, I got out of Tesla. If I didn't cover Tesla, I would have been shut down 10 minutes ago. That's how far it's fallen. And I got out of that at 9:48. It's like 10:06. That was $30 ago on Tesla, where I covered. $30, and Rivian's even worse. Easily.
Yes, sir.
It's 75, like maybe 75. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to test a little long here on NIO down into $28 here. So we'll see. NIO's bouncing off some of these levels one more time. So if we can get a long here in the 50s, we'll take it. But it's probably a short if you look at the rest of this market. So there it is. We take a little long right now at 51 here on that name. And just we're almost out here of Disney. We try to protect that $54 level. If you can go over to a 20-minute chart here before it breaks, I'll show you why we're in this name. But again, my charts are a little hectic right now. There it is. So you can see 54 right here. Like we're right at some of these levels that we've been at previously. It's obviously 154, but we're getting ready to break it lower, and we can't, to hold this into this is going to be a little crazy. So it looks like we'll be a 30-cent hit or so on Disney, which is actually, a $150 stock, not bad. We'll take a 30-cent hit if it goes up. Goes back down. But here we go. Maybe retracing a little bit now, but wow, in the dumpsters, a lot of these names, guys, today. So just be very, very careful with your trades. And we were celebrating AMC. It's a good thing that we took some out, but not enough. Like we noticed that 21 was resisting down there. So I don't even really know why we didn't get it all out, but now we've averaged into AMC, and it doesn't look like the apes want to play very nice today, as this one's going to crack a little bit lower here. AMC, we're only long 98, so we're going to get out if it breaks back below 2080 right now, which was that day's low. So AMC trying to get back upside. Now we're back almost in the money on this name, but wow, what a violent day this has been. And we did talk about this the last few days, that this move was kind of not expected, but we were expecting a flush down in some of these markets.
Yeah, and that's basically what you got here. Now, 75.13 is the low. Like I just said, maybe 75. Like the only reason for that is the nature of the move to the downside in Rivian and the fact that 75 is a round number. So understand, like when that's a play, it is literally a play. It is if it breaks 75, you're out. If it bounces, it might give you a move to 79 to 80. And halfway to that is 77.5. So take some out at 77.5. You can then hold the rest for an $80 level. Brendan?
Another one that was very, very popular in the retail world, along with AMC going back to the beginning of the year, guys. Microvision, another one getting cracked today. A couple of downgrades on this, 10% for MVIS.
Okay, we're going long on Rivian if we can get it here. We'll see if that just made that bottom. No idea here, but we'll try it on Rivian if we can get it. It's coming back down, so there it is. Now we are long Rivian against the bottom here. So we'll hold this all the way back through 75. You want to take out 75? Then I'm going to lose $2 on Rivian. So that's what that trade's going to be, and we'll just see where it goes from here. So I'm willing to hold this one. Rivian, new position, long, and that is what it is. So we'll wait to see if that's going to go. NEO, obviously, we're flat on that trade right now. Ford, looks like it wants to take us out down here through 23.50. That name not working right now either, but we've already murdered Ford to the upside today. So that has been a good trade for me, upside there on Ford. And then AMC did make that run back up, guys. And honestly, it resisted 21 again. So we got a little bit more out. I mean, it was literally for flat. I still think it can go upside. We are holding now for 20-cent downside risk on this name. But I mean, I got to get short something. We just went long Rivian when I should have pushed the short there. So let's wait to see. Looks like Disney, there it goes. So Disney out majority of the trade. We'll see. Maybe we just got bottom wick there, but Disney, we are out of that trade as well, and just holding out hope that Rivian was some sort of a flash crash and does have the ability to come back up. But
this wick is ridiculous on Rivian, by the way. Like obviously that never happened. As it comes back to the downside, I'll give it one shot to hold 75 again before thinking about trying to reload it. A lot of times that first move up might be it. We'll see. I've seen stranger things before. I wish there's nothing to report on here. When the market's doing this, I guess sometimes those small caps that you thought were going to be the most volatile, you can throw that out the window. It's FRLN. I got to start. You're just going to get the rest of this out pretty soon here because that's falling like an absolute rock. Nothing to do with the overall market dying here, but just want to make sure that I'm taking profit and not neglecting some other names. It's Rivian that it bears watching. The ES is right at the low of right at the lows right now. We're down 0.5%. The NASDAQ is cracking lows. 15.6 is in store. If there's a bounce off of those two levels on the futures and Rivian holds 75, I think it's good. But if it cannot do that, the futures break those lows. There's no stubbornness about the 75 level on Rivian. Tesla now down at 10.25. About the only place I'm thinking about going long again on Tesla would be in front of 1,000, like literally 1,001, 1,002 in front of 1,000 even. Crazy to be saying that. Someone asked, did we sell anticipating this could happen? Personally, I diversified way too early. You could say way too early, starting to think about names like Pepsi and those kind of things. But that's me. So I wasn't really selling much of any tech. I sold Tesla, and that's about the only thing. And that was when it was like 1,200, only a third. Everything else was more just about making sure that I had enough in names like Pepsi, in names like Procter & Gamble, in names like Intel that would withstand some of these moves. And even those are going to get beat up on days like today. Like I said, there's nowhere you're going to hide. I bet you the Dow's not doing too well either.
No, I don't think anything's doing
I guarantee it's not.
Too well here today.
Down.
So we did, I know. So we did give something back on Ford there as it takes out that 50 level, and that's it, man. We're gone. We're going to hold a small piece on Ford, but we are out of this trade. So just waiting to see where it goes from here. Who knows at this point? But look what else is happening. Thank God the apes are back in the building, guys, because AMC has been. Money. I mean, again, we have a lot of positive stocks, but we have a few negative stocks on the board today, and AMC is not one of those as far as negativity is concerned. AMC now making those moves back up to the upside, and we still got this on board. So, legit trade on board right now with AMC, man. We're just trying to protect some of this. It's all the way up to 24 again. Let's take a piece out here at 24. Tons of liquidity. Did I just get that? Yes, I did. Tons of liquidity up here at 24. So let's wait to see now. AMC, 40 cents in the money and still ripping. Ears not doing anything. We're waiting to get out of that one. NEO bouncing, not not doing anything. And then Rivian, I tried to get some 76 there, didn't get them. Was actually waiting at 76 even. It went down as low as 76.25. So Rivian trying to work out as well. And then on a name that we're basically flat on the day, SoFi, that touched 13. So is there size here at 13 on SoFi? But yes, there is. So that's a decent trade right now. Let's go long SoFi right now and see if, we'll go long right here at 9s and see if it takes out that 13 here. So SoFi, we're going to test it down here at this bottom level. May crack. It looks like it's trying to get down again, but we'll take a long here off 13. And if you want to see the size, it's right here, 1,000 there. So that's about 100,000 shares at 13 on SoFi. So we're going to punch the long here and see if there's some movement back to the upside.
Yeah, so a couple of things here. It looks like there is a bounce happening in Walgreens. And again, just trying to find something that is worth sort of taking as the futures try to bounce here. Rivian was more about 75. Walgreens was about the low of the day in the strong earnings. But I'm going to play the range still. And when it's this week, I'm going to definitely try to take some profit at 53.5. You'll see that I do have the long down here basically at 53 even in front of that bottom. So if I can get halves to 50s, that's the trade that I want to work with. EAR is starting to roll a little bit. So to the downside, again, it still has to break that low to be of any kind of concern. But ATHE, which has been sitting pretty as a nice little scalp trade, now retesting this high. So it's held $1. Now it's held 110. So holding a buck, holding 110, I think you can see what I'm getting at here. If this breaks out at like 21.22, this is a run away from it kind of situation because it's about to run to the high. Rivian looks like it's going to make that push up into VWAP here. So if it gets to 80 to 81, we'll be pretty happy about it, but obviously the market trying to get back to the top.
Wow, guys, AMC, let's go. We're positive today, guys. So we'll spin the money. It's a positive day for us net-wise today, obviously, as we're starting to run, man. We talked about that AMC picking up at 21. Wow, what's up to Niagara Charlie? What's up to everybody here with us on this play, man? Wow. And then you want to talk about another play. We just got some of SoFi out right there, guys. Like, again, this is what we're waiting for. Trying to be more specific, trying to put on bigger size when we get to key levels. We tried it down here. It worked. Then it got dumped down. So SoFi, we exact our revenge and turn this name into the positive for us now on SoFi. Just wish we would have held Disney, but we did get out. Thank God we held 20% of Disney, now making moves back up to the upside. AMC 70 cents. Like, you can't find winners today? No problem. There always are winners every single day in the stock market. You just got to find them, man. There goes AMC. Beautiful trade there. And then Rivian, guys. Rivian. We're long Rivian now. It's $1 plus in the money. Well, it was $1 plus in the money. Now 80 cents. We'll see where it goes. I don't know what the light count is going on. What's up, Niagara Charlie there in the chat? But we're here with you, man. The People's Trader trading the People's stock. AMC. What's up, Miss V?
It's like o'clock, guys. It's a busy day, and here I am to remind you to like this video. We are now at 1,100 likes, and we would really appreciate if you guys help us to get to 2,000. So please turn thumbs to the upside, and I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Back to you, Neil.
It looks like Rivian is now climbing. You're going to see like a strong higher low. You're going to see consecutive bars to the upside. If that's a flash bottom, it should at least recover to this $80 level from what I can see. What a crazy, crazy move to the downside. When we talk, and by the way, when we say the term flash crash, what that essentially means is the bulk of the move down is bid pulling, most of the liquidity in the market, the quote that you see when you look at the level 2, it's going to be algos, right? So when they pull that bid, things get absolutely ugly and you get capitulation. An example of that sort of in real time, if I can pull it up, is going to be what's happening on EAR right now. Like, you'll see, like, as it comes to the downside, a lot of these levels, well, yeah, like you just sort of saw there, they're just bid pulling, some capitulation. It just held 7, but another push to the downside here. I'm not saying a flash crash is happening on here, but essentially on Rivian, when the rug gets pulled, when the bid does come in, it can get really fierce to the upside. So not really looking to take that out till it gets to VWAP. I'm being patient with EAR because if you got something that's working, this is a time that you want to be holding on to it. It's that kind of a market. Like, the move is probably going to be outsized in either direction. That's kind of what we're seeing here. Watch out for that ATHE. I'm going back over to Peloton just to quickly show you. That bounced off the bottom, gets right back into this like 32 level. That'll be flat on the day if it breaks VWAP. So it went all the way up, broke $1 to the upside, flushed to the bottom, and now tries to come back up here. I think it's a bit of a long trap to take something like that, breaking at VWAP or something like this. If it rolls back over, I'd be thinking more short on some of these. nowhere near as crazy a move as a Rivian to say, well, that's an easy bottom to take, right? Like that's compared to Rivian, like that's just not even nearly the same thing. I think that can still be faded, whereas Rivian, I think you're hands off and you're holding that long if you got it. I think VWAP's in store.
Ooey doggy right now. Look at AMC, look at SoFi. Like right now, we're spinning it. I cannot believe that we survived today, guys. So let's put another offer out here. Like we only have a $1.10 winner here on a $22 name with AMC. So we should probably take a piece off here on the top side of this play right now. There it is, takes them out at 99. Wowzers on that one. And how about Rivian? How you like them apples right now? In the money, $2.50. I just heard Neil talking about this.
I just got out of it.
Perfect, man. $2.50 win right there on Rivian. Beautiful trade to the upside right there. SoFi also rocking and rolling. We put on the big on that one as well. The chicken dinner winners are everywhere right now. So, I mean, yes, you know, if you're stuck with it today, I think you're going to be positive. I know we've had a couple missteps here, but most of these trades coming back in and nicely into the money for us right now. I am also debating getting out of some Rivian right now. I mean, it's $2.50 in the money and bouncing off 80.50. So let's take some profit on Rivian right now. But guys, wow, what a good trade today. We step up to the plate. Step up there, hit those home runs. Hopefully you guys are in some of these plays with us. Let's go over to the big screen with Berendo.
Hey guys, yeah, small cap time. Typically on a day when you get an overall market move, individual names going to kind of take a back seat, specifically in small cap world. Here we go though. Only a couple things to really talk about. FRLN, we mentioned in the pre-market up on positive news, 290, 310, and then that high was like 325, 330. Doesn't matter because it never comes into play. There was a consolidation here on the way up initially that it seems to be struggling with right now, but volume kind of dying off. Decent fade for FRLN. EAR, I'll give you my take here. Broke back down through 8, which was support. That was enough for me. I had a VWAP stop, so got stopped out at VWAP on the way back up. Took that again, so we're on the way back down through support right now again for EAR. And then I wanted to mention this GNPX. The past couple of days has given you great opportunities. There was a pretty clear level here from yesterday, 240, 250. An area of resistance yesterday comes up, gives you really good test there. I missed it, but great opportunity down to day lows. Guys, back to you.
I think GameStop's the truth. We were just sort of talking about AMC there. And Stephen Howard just asked about Global Foundries. I traded GFS yesterday. It has 237,000 in volume today. I don't think this is a kind of market that you want to be day trading names that don't have any volume, because liquidity is going to be at a premium when the market's moving like this to begin with, let alone stepping into something that doesn't have a lot of it. So I'm not touching Global Foundries as a day trade today, despite liking it in yesterday's action. GameStop just held here at VWAP. If I'm going to jump into something to the short side, I was just talking about Peloton. This is a daily on GameStop here. You're going to see that previous low at about 128. That's essentially where it's trying to rebound to. That's also yesterday's bottom here at 129. If it fails to chew back through this level and starts to roll over, I think that can be shorted. Rivian, like I said, I said there when Sean was talking that I had gotten out of it. That came up to VWAP, broke to 80. Looked like it was about to get to VWAP, and then just started to have a bit of an offer churning here. So I covered it. It did a bit of a wick to the downside. It's always going to be a scalp trade. I'm not going to try to hold it all day. That was like almost a flash crash type of bottom. And if it makes a low and you can get in and get out and take the profit, that's what I'm going to look to do. Right now, I'm more concerned about, is it going to be a potential turn for me on GameStop, sort of a similar setup. If I can get this one short and then it doesn't take out 129, I think that would be the level.
So we just made back like decent amount of cash. Obviously, we're up on the day. So, and then there goes Disney. Like, obviously, we have that out. Like, how much money would we be up if we just never got stopped out right there? But we did on that move down, and we tried to be patient there with 154, and I just couldn't go to the grave with it. But we take out some money back on the upside. We are still negative on Ford. I'm sorry, not on Ford, obviously, but on Disney. But there it is right now. We are holding this winner. We just took it out at 70 for a 55-cent win on that name. So we'll wait to see. Ooh, we just got out of something else there. Oh, no, don't tell me. I had another offer there on Disney that I just got out of. Oh, no. Okay, well, whatever. Profits are profits, but we did not mean to get out. I need to, like, relook at all these orders, man, because I feel like I'm getting filled on things that I didn't even know we had. But right there, that's a good one here. Cancel some of these. Ooh, got a little bit lazy there. But whatever, because you know what? SoFi. Money. Ripping, man. SoFi, that was honestly, like, my most profitable stock today is, well, whatever, it's AMC right now. No, it's Ford still. Oh, it's AMC, unrealized. But Ford is my number one stock, followed by AMC. And then SoFi, man, despite it dropping down, we went over here. And if you're watching the show because you like the show, fantastic. But I'm also thinking that one of the reasons is because of the education. I showed you guys that bid that was down there at 13, right? We're patient with this name. We waited for this to come in. It came in, and we hammered it, guys. So we hammered that trade. So we're smoking the good with SoFi here today, as that just keeps on going to the upside. Forget about cannabis stocks. Those, we could slap a fail on it, but we will slap a register today on what we're doing. It's been a big day. You've had to have the right names, but here we go, man. AMC, $1 in the money. SoFi rocking. Rivian back up to $2 in the money as well, just bouncing off 18.15 there. I'm sitting at 80.20. So we missed that trade by 5 cents. One more time.
I was like $80, 20 cents, just because it's moving so fast. Like you can't take anything for granted when you holler out some of these prices. I got the GameStop trade. I'm in at 127.50, and I'm risking to 129. So until it gets about $1.50 in the money, which I guess it's pretty close to, I don't want to take anything out. EAR is about to make another leg down, so it gave me that in. I did miss the opportunity to add to it. Once it cracks that low, I want that volume to take me out for some shares, then some in front of that 625 level as well. So got EAR, and that one looks like it's going to continue to work. I just got GameStop first leg out, so that was pretty quick. It popped into VWAP, failed at VWAP. We're able to short it on that lower high. Already taking some out at a 1-to-1 risk ratio. If it can take out 125, I'm looking to get down towards that 123. I think if you're the way the market just sort of bounced there, you had a wick bottom on the ES and the NASDAQ that broke through the low and then managed to snap back up. So if you're rolling into a short on some of these names, I think you kind of want it to be like, not to pick on GameStop, but kind of to pick on them, be in something that I think has a little bit more weakness. Like not play that rollover in, say, one of the good tech names like an Nvidia or something like that. So I'm going to stick with something like a GameStop and the small caps if you're staying to the short side. The only one of which isn't working is watch out for that ATHE. And that's because it held $1 and then $1.10. It still hasn't broken the top. It's forming a bit of a wedge here, but I keep coming back to it because if it breaks that high, you got to be concerned it's about to make a run to that pre-market high at 130.
Guys, we got 99 problems and positions ain't one right now, boys, because $1 in the money on AMC. We're wearing our red and black lumberjack, but we don't have the hat to match. But we'll shout out to Brooklyn right now. They get Kyrie Irving back yesterday. We're in the red and black, and AMC, ripping up what's up to the people out there. You guys killing it right now. We take Ford on the bottom here. Hopefully that can make its way back up to the upside. So let's just review the positions. AMC, $1.20 in the money. Ford now starting to move up, dime piece in the money. NEO, we forgot about NEO today, so let's go, man. We'll go like this one. Here we go. NEO, ow, hungry, there we go.
There's a $500,000 on the offer, this bloody stock.
Which bloody stock?
This ATHE thing. Like that level I was looking at on the chart, I didn't look at the level too. Like this level keeps holding $1.23 randomly. It's because there's 500,000 shares on the offer. I should have been looking at the level two.
All right, NEO, yeah, good. So good. See, there we go again, guys. Showing you guys level two, showing you guys everything what's good, hopefully. NIO as well, guys. Big time win on this one, guys. 50 cents right now for NIO as well. So crying no more. What a great day it is here today. We make back everything we lost yesterday and more. Good day today, but yeah, wow. On our portfolios, it's not a very good day, but day trading,
well, it could turn.
Very, very nice. Yeah, it could turn.
But the NASDAQ just went green.
Look at AMC.
NASDAQ just turned positive.
Baby. Look at AMC. What's up, Brendo?
I'm not seeing any news on this yet, but Teva trying to bounce here. Teva Pharmaceuticals, negative news going back to last week that we talked about on Teva, but 2% back to the upside. Huge buyer just stepped up there on TEVA.
So the NASDAQ just turned green. It's right. GameStop for me just went from $1.50 in the money to basically flat. This level on ATHE was 500,000 shares. It's now 180,000 shares. It did get mostly taken out, and then someone marketed it short down to like 120. Obviously, if it doesn't fail break, I had punched out. I'm like, oh, the level's going. I punched out of the trade. The second the level held, I just jumped right back into it. It's the same. Look, it's essentially you get to risk 2 cents. And if support's down at 110, it's to make 5 to 10. So I like that risk to reward. But that's 100% about the level 2 in that particular case. If that order wasn't there, I probably don't make that trade. But the order was there, so I do.
Just tweeting this out, guys, because we were patient. We waited for the trade. And then AMC, we are still on board right now with this stock. This is a big name today, obviously. Is today AMC day? I don't know. But this is definitely a stock to watch, a stock to trade. And if you're a day trader, you got Meals and GameStop, which is basically the same thing. Good trade. Well, as far as movements, hopefully, are concerned. But right now, $1.70 in the money. Did anybody else have this AMC long today? Shout out to you, Niagara Charlie. Shout out to everybody today because, yeah, we on one with AMC still in position, man. Sometimes you got to wait for those things to fall down. And you know what else we're still in position on? Let's go. It's hot dogs for everybody today as Rivian, guys. Rivian right now. Big time movement up $3.50 on that one. So here we go, man. Rivian, a nice little move back to the upside. I loved hearing that, we were thinking that was a flash crash. As soon as I hear that, I think buy. And there we go. A beautiful move back up to the upside on Rivian. I just wish
the reason for that
hold on a second. I just wish we had the reload down there that we missed by 10 cents, but there it goes, Rivian. Go ahead.
The reason for that in the flash crash, I'll tell you this right now. Like there was a minor one on Intel when I was a trainee, years and years ago, and I remember a trader talking about how he missed that, and the second time he would see something like that, he would jam into the long, and then we sat through the actual flash crash and watched our screens as things went crazy and didn't really get anything at the bottom when we observed it. So now that you sort of see what those liquidity vacuums look like, you always want to try to take them when you can get a chance at them, just because the risk to reward plays are tremendous. Like, where are you ever going to see those situations where essentially it's like if it bounces off 75, you can get 76, and it's probably just going to go right to 80, and then you can get like gross moves like that. So GameStop, I took out $1.50, and then I risked that back to the upside. It was hands off the keys. It just broke that 129. Look, I mean, I'm going to be able to maybe scalp a reversal in this, but I don't necessarily want to hold on to that. ATHE, that level held. That's why I showed you on level 2. I'm going to start taking it out in front of VWAP, ATHE, and then work it back down to that 110 level. Again, I think that's mostly just a scalp trade because of the size I saw on level 2. And I think that's what you want to do sometimes when you get lower liquidity. Walgreens has managed to hold the bottom. I'm not offering till it gets above VWAP. If the market's going to recover, then somebody that had a good earnings report, I think, is going to do fairly well for the rest of the day.
Oh, man. Wow. We're pretty exhausted right now. I'm glad it's 10:30. We only have a half hour left before we throw it over to Market Movers. And today, there's a few that are moving around a little bit here. AMC still going, guys. What's up to everybody there? Facebook, you guys know I love Facebook. LFG, Niagara Charlie. Let's go. Let's go to Team Project today as well. PJCT there. FB going up like crazy. Sell that AMC before I pound it again. Okay, go ahead and do that. I'm out of the majority of these shares. We're just going to let it go right now. Everything flying around, run ripping. Okay, we'll find out for that. Uber, Upstart, PayPal, everything. Let's go. Man, thank you for the chat. The best community around. And by the way, like a little bit of an undercover trade. I mean, it's not undercover because I've been talking about it, but like this SoFi, maybe there's not enough being made here on this, but like this went all the way down to 13. We showed you the huge level, and I like upsized the trade there. So there it is, man. If you're going to be a day trader, sometimes it is about, not sometimes, a lot of the time it's about risk. And right there, this risk reward, like you're talking about right now, guys, 5 to 1. So there you go, Brad. You want to talk about risk to reward? We were giving this name 9 cents. Well, a slippage, just call it 10 cents. We just took 50 cents right there on that trade, although the majority of them out right here in the 40s and some here in the 30s. So that's just how we trade. But there it goes. Nothing but love, nothing but upside. We're going to go to Brendan, but you guys got to hit the like here. 1.5K. Please, guys, hit the like on this one. Trust me, it'll make your portfolio go higher. What's up, Brandon?
Some of the other EV makers worth mentioning, guys, participating in this bounce as well. Just saw Lucid back to only 4%. It was down way more than that. Got below 34 this morning. I'll flip over, show you Nikola with another order coming through this morning, back to positive and then some for NKLA. 10:30. Let's get a check on how things over in Europe are managing. Yeah, back to positive here in North America. V, what's up?
Hey, Brandon, European markets are negative. Banks are among top performers, with Deutsche Bank is up around 2%. One of the worst performers is German software company Nemetschek, down more than 9%. Back to you.
Yeah, tech stocks, lagging a little, but here we go, guys. The Russell positive, the S&P positive, and the NASDAQ is positive.
There is one thing lagging. I'm just going to look at a stock. Bitcoin is still trying to hold that 42,000 level. So crypto maybe not moving as much. I did note SI, which is it's just a equity that I happen to own here. That's why I'm watching it. Trying to get back up major support at 131. I'm going to come back over to a couple of names here just to go over positions. Walgreens, which was on the watch list, is about to get filled. I might just jinx it now because I just said about to get filled because I'm on the offer. And this is, it's like 2 or 3 cents away. You're going to take first target. I've been holding on to this. If it breaks 53.8, I'm looking to try to hold this all the way to 55. There's still a lot of upside. Just sort of looking at what the NASDAQ is putting in here, and especially even the ES. If you look at the gap, or at least the move that we had in the afternoon, and even this morning, right? Like, there's a lot of room to come back in here. Even something like a 15.9, a 1600 wouldn't seem like a drop in the bucket. The ES, kind of the same thing.
Wow.
If we're breaking these levels, I think we have some room to run. So if you got something in the money, you want to take the opportunity to hold on to it. I showed you guys ATHE. I could hit a button, but I'm just going to go through these quickly. I showed you that one. That order that held the level here at 115, I think it's a scalp that can give you 10 to 15% profit down to that $1, where it's probably still a bit of a long. And EAR continues to capitulate to the downside. It has yet to breach 650. I think it's probably going to give a $1 win, but it's only been giving you about 50 to 60 cents so far. Should have a buck in it. Hasn't really fallen apart again since that flush that we had at about 10:15 or so when Brendan was doing small cap recap.
Okay, guys, so we're just sitting out literally, legs up, ready to chill out here as we've just made quite the epic comeback right now. NIO, 55 cents in the money. And just to give you guys a recap, we are now out as we face slap ourselves. It's Dancing Monkey, not face slap. That's right, I knew that one. For our AMC trade, it comes up here to 40. There was some size on the bid that was getting taken out, so I did punch out there at 42 on AMC. So, you get right there. That's a $3 and maybe even more than that. How much was that there on the outside of AMC? But anyways, we'll look at that in a minute. There it goes. And then check out this play as well. And not only that, I'm giving you these clean. These plays are super, super clean, guys. Like when we went over here and talked about trading Ford. Let's go this way. When we were trading Ford right now, we talked about getting that in right here and then explained our out. So there it goes, another risk to reward of 3-1 right now on Ford, right? Right back up to the upside, right to VWAP, kind of where we planned that out for. So that's a monster win right there. Rivian, $4 in the money right now, right? That's whatever. That's a good trade, right? SoFi, 50 cents in the money. Oh, and a big shout out to you as well, Daryl. You were talking about it here that you also went long. I forget where it was, but anyways, shout out to Daryl Flinch there, one of our, heralded, I think. I really like your opinion and everything that you give to this community there, Daryl. But you also as well went long there, SoFi down near that bottom. So that's great, man. And then the note that we had on the sticky note here was watch out for 1350 on SoFi. So now that we're all the way back up here and captured 55-cent winner, this might be an area. That's why we take a piece out there, always out in front of 50. And now we'll just wait to see. We're I only have 10% left of this trade. So every one of these outs basically all the same, as we weren't sure the market wanted to rally. But how you like that out right now on AMC, as that's looking like a decent out now. I don't know how your GameStop, I haven't looked at GameStop today, but AMC. I
got out of the short for profit and half. Basically got out for a loss on the second half, reversed to a long, scalped like 50 cents on it. So I've had like 4 trades on GameStop. I'm going to be up on it, but I think the bigger trade, if you had that top, Alert to this ENSC. It's halted, but it's done basically no volume into this halt. So I would say trade this with caution. Days like today, you know, things can get pretty freaky when it comes to liquidity. Anything that's already halting and doesn't do a million shares, watch it. It has yet to break this 450 level. And the tap, if the actual theoretical auction price, which is the open right now, would be at 465. So it actually just opened up, just breaking this level here. Watch out for $5 at the top on the 15-minute chart. I just paid for shorts on this because once you've halted once, maybe halted twice, I think the reversal can always come into these. So I'm watching NSC. Just note that you can never go broke taking profits, and this would be a name like that where you want to make sure that you do that. Walgreens, I said I was jinxing myself by saying I would get the fill. I did get the first fill up at 53.50. Quickly grab 50 cents there. I'm looking to grab on the next leg here about 75 to 80, maybe a little bit more than that if it breaks 54. And then we'll see if we can't hold it. If the market breaks the highs, ES 47.10, NASDAQ 158.5, I can't see a way that we're not getting some of these levels on something like a Walgreens, which would just have to turn green after fantastic earnings, which I don't think is asking a lot if the market wants to rally.
Oh, man. Okay, it's only 10:38. I mean, I'd like to find some more ideas here for you, but right now we're just kind of in cruise control here, watching some of these plays continue to work for us. We have $4 in the money on Rivian. I mean, that was... I just wish I wasn't looking at other things. I mean, I would love to have been long down here near 75. Unfortunately, we are long right now, but... Again, take the profit and hold. So that's out 2/3. We're holding 1/3 left to see what this wants to do. But Rivian on the monster move back. And this is what I mean. You can't scalp out everything. You got to sometimes hold on for just that bigger winner, man. And it definitely exercised demons today on this. And you know what else is happening right now? I don't have, you know what I actually don't have on here, and maybe it's a good thing because I hit it too much, is the hot dog. Rob, I need the hot dog cannons on here. I don't have that one on here, I don't think. But it's been a roller coaster ride so far today, but for us. But we can fire off the cannons if you guys have it over there, because right now, Neo. No. The one where I'm like, doot, 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 that one. So if you have that one, that's great because we feel like celebrating. Neo right now, nope. Neo right now, 90 cents. Forget about it. Neo now 90 cents in the money as it's taking out some of these new highs. We've had this one. There it is. Thank you so much. I'll put that on the board. As I feel like a hot dog kind of day today. SoFi, Neo, Ford, all big time in the money now as we look to run things higher. And that AMC out, guys. I just should have gone short there, but that was a nice little take there for me on AMC. Nicely done. We'll see if we can reload it back now near 22 bucks. Shout out to you, Niagara Charlie. You've been talking about this name for a while. We lost on it the other day, but seek the revenge today. I believe it's Brendan now. It looks like a pretty interesting board over there. Over at the big screen, mixed board, which makes a lot of sense today.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to positive territory, as we said here, for the S&P 0.1% to the upside. We'll talk about the banks here in a second. I want to mention we saw energy, or oil, I should say, up 2% in the pre-market if you joined us. All of the energy sector following through with nice gains today. HES, MRO, COP, Devon, they're 3.5% to kind of 4.5% in positive territory. Industrials are also positive on the day. Not huge moves, but worth mentioning. Watch that group going into the afternoon. Far corner over there, we were talking a little bit about CLF. Some of the resource stocks, Nucor here, 3.8%, FCX, 2.4%. Back to the downside. They've had, quite a run. So a bit of a pullback for some of those names. Netflix, 3% downside on a downgrade today. Facebook offsetting that 3% on the upside, back in positive territory. Financials, as I mentioned, positive on the day, although diversified financials specifically showing some weakness here. The individual banks back higher. Goldman over here, though, downside today, 2%. Insurance companies also in positive territory. Wanted to show you, there's Tesla. 4.3% was more than 5 at one point, but trying to bounce nicely right now. The rest of the consumer durables and also retailers showing some weakness, or our individual names positive, but overall the group is lower. Humana, 10%. In negative territory. Moderna below that, 3%. Eli Lilly, ABMD, to name a few. So consumer discretionary, healthcare, and tech stocks making up the weakness. Everything else, though, positive, including the overall market. Guys, back over to you.
like I was just going over a few things. Like UNH is getting, well, it's down 1.5%, but I'm talking about sort of the last couple of days here, down like $30 or so. That gets pretty interesting if it drops towards that 50 period, let alone that 200. I've actually done something which, I don't usually put trailing stops for partial positions, but I'm doing that in year here. If it gets back above 7, I want to cover a third of the trade just to make sure that I'm banking some profit. So I'm trying to be patient with this because the trend has obviously been that it's pulling back in, but I don't want this breaking to VWAP, going flat on me, and I didn't take any profit. So I'll try to grab 50 cents on the trade on a third of what I have left, and then still maintain bids down towards $6. So that's one way of trying to hold it. Walgreens is going to come, it's going to try to come back down here and towards VWAP, and sort of as it does so, I'm looking more at this higher low at 53, maybe 52.75, where I'd like to reload. The futures did not break those highs that I was talking about, the 47.10 on the ES, 15.85 on the NASDAQ, neither one of those. So as the market comes back in, if you like something, I'm going to try to bid again around those lows and try to reload some of the longs that I do like. Otherwise, like I said, just hold on to the shorts that are working. If you have a short that's working, it's probably in a small cap. I'm looking back over at a firm, which oddly enough, somehow I didn't trade today after yesterday. That doesn't really make a heck of a lot of sense. It's rolling back over. Like, that's the type of name that I think if you're looking to short something, it should be something like an Affirm, something maybe like a Peloton. I haven't really checked back in on it, but Affirm does stand out.
Yeah, and we're just starting to slowly start to get out of some of these names that obviously we have on board here. We just took out some Ford as that failed a little bit there, breaking back through VWAP. We took a 65 out there on the way back in. So right now we're just holding very, very small positions. The one that we really shouldn't have been celebrating too much, well, we should have been. Rivian's been a monster trade for me. One of my top stocks, it's up there anyways today for Rivian, but it just dropped out. It hit that VWAP, man, broke through 81 and then just tanked. So Rivian back down here. We'll look to see if we can get some more out or get the final piece out if we're lucky enough to get this back to $82 today. I don't know what's going to happen in the EV space, so to sit here and make a prediction on how far Rivian's going to go from here, I don't really have that in me. So we'll wait. I do, but we'll wait to see if it gets back to VWAP, and I think that's a good area to think about taking another piece out. But maybe even 82, even that high, we'll look at that. I feel like, darn it, we missed a little bit of opportunity there. Good thing we're only holding that less than 10% of SoFi right now, as it was a pretty key area right there, man, 1350. So these are the majority of the outs right here, 40% out at 1340. So again, each one of these ticks is 10% out, right? So we take about 30% out for about 11 or 12 cents, then out on the way back up, 40% of the trade out at a 4-to-1 risk to reward, and then you take it back upside. We take a little piece out, another 10% at 50, and now let's see where we go. So that's the sort of the area of concern for me right now, SoFi, but other than that, man, it's been a good trade here. Like Clover, there's so many names that are just getting destroyed. And again, we talked about DraftKings and sort of that we don't like that stock, obviously, in this environment. And I think that if you heeded that warning, I am not in DraftKings, nor am I looking to get into this name. But wow, down to $24 today. DraftKings actually made a bottom of 23. You want to talk about a stock that hasn't had any love whatsoever. There is DraftKings just getting pumped to the downside right here, guys. Wow, $64. There's almost no stopping this name to the I don't know. I mean, Penn is a little bit better probably because
is it? Oh,
I don't know because maybe? They have the bricks and mortar. So Penn, not really. I mean, at least Penn isn't at its all-time low, but we're only $2 away. But Penn coming not all-time, but recent lows here, $43 coming into play. But if you're going to pick up one, I'd rather do Penn than DraftKings, but still both in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, I mean, I was basically just staring at that, and because I'm taking that, I don't want to say stupid trade, but that ATHE, it's working, but that 123 level where that massive order is still there for a couple 100,000 shares, I have to watch it because I'm trying to have an out hitting the level as opposed to putting a stop order in. I just want to quickly show Tesla, what I was getting at earlier about that flash crash, one thing started to accelerate, this is getting out at the bottom on Tesla, and it was, I'm not, this is a 15-minute chart, you're talking about in 10 minutes or so, in 5 minutes, realistically, in 5 minutes, it was down another $20. In 10 minutes, it was down another $40 or $50 if you didn't have a stop. You could have, forget about Rivian, you could have also gone over to Tesla. It's just that Rivian it was crazier, for lack of a better word. Like the move downside on Rivian and the bid collapsing was just crazier. So to me, it's weird to say this, but it made it a safer long because it had more of a vacuum to fill back up. Whereas Tesla, the way it churned down was rapid, but Rivian was just almost unprecedented. And that's going to be my worst stock today was Tesla. But it just goes to show, like I would have shut myself down if I tried to average into that long or not get out at the bottom. Just to come back over to, like I said, a firm would be one that I would try to pick on. It's starting to get back into the upside. So if it tries to hold first, I'm looking at $78.50. Then I'll be looking at $80. I only want to short something as it starts to roll over and not jump in front of anything today. I think you want to catch something as it's consolidating or breaking back in the direction that you want to go, as opposed to just sitting in front of a sword. So or a moving trend. I think that's the way to trade these. And it's a firm that I want to watch. I can't really find anything else that I like if the market's going to come back down other than shorting a firm.
Brennan mentioning, yeah, I mean, short the weak names, right? And I think a firm has proven that, that it's exactly that. So we'll wait to see what a firm's going to do. I mean, the same thing, we can look at Block, things like that, Square, PayPal, all those kind of names. Beyond Meat, though, again, this is the biggest winner of the day, I think, up 8%. I don't think you're going to find like another name that's like this. I mean, obviously, Bed Bath & Beyond, I'll have to check out what that's doing. But Beyond Meat, off of yesterday's bottom, I mean, you had an opportunity to get this thing long at 58 bucks, right? Yesterday's bottom, Beyond Meat. This was looking very, very interesting to get going again, back up to the upside. But again, like just in a failed market here, Beyond Meat's also not going to work, right? This is not the right name. It's not the right environment here for BYND. But again, today it's working. And if you want to get one, I think on any kind of a pullback, it's got to pull back a little bit more for me, like, you know, back down into a VWAP or something like a 61, but Beyond Meat definitely working. And by the way, guys, what kind of a hold was that on Rivian right now as we take out again, right back to, not take out, but we are right back. If I can find my day chart, my minute chart right here on Rivian, we come right back up, rip back right to 82 again. So this is a level here that if you are concerned about your position, you may want to get out. We've already topped upside here. We just retraced back up. It's now up about $1 and change since that bottom. Rivian continues to make that money. We're $3.35 in the money on this one. And then Neo as well, taking out day's high again. I mean, I'm going to keep saying day's high, but ultimately we just mean, you know, the high of this last little bump up, because day's high may not come for any name today.
I was about to say Peloton just broke its day.
Names.
Yeah.
Oh, Peloton. Okay.
Peloton is actually, well, it's trying. It just got through the day's high, but the afternoon, like the I guess we'll call it the Fed move. The Fed move, you were watching it yesterday. Actually, when 2 o'clock hit, the market went upside before it flushed. So you have these wicks on a lot of your charts. This was at top on Peloton right here. And it looks like it's trying to break through. Now, I said, if you take anything, it's got to be going with the grain. So if I wanted to short this, like I kind of wanted to short a firm, if you tried Peloton, I would only take it on the way back down as opposed to standing in front of the sword. That's why I'm not even touching this thing in front of that high. EAR ended up working out. Like I had that trailing stop for a third of the position. If it broke 7, it ends up breaking down and filling me at 660. So I was able to just quickly take now 90 cents on that last out. I'm trying to get a buck here and then hold the rest for, I don't really know what the bottom is going to be on this name. Like, who knows? Again, I just think once you have it in your direction, you want to try to hold on to it, especially on a day like today. The one thing that isn't really giving the moves that we want is probably crypto. Let's see what's going on over in crypto and, of course, currencies with Brendan from Money Talks.
Hey guys, yeah, money time. Let's talk about some currencies here. Trying to bounce over there for Bitcoin. We'll talk about that in a second, but pretty quiet day overall for the currency markets. You can see the US dollar had a big move initially off of that Fed meeting minutes yesterday, back to the downside ever so slightly today, but that has everything else, you know, relatively unchanged. The Canadian dollar just going positive on the day. British pound lower, same story for the Japanese yen, and Swiss franc was actually lower. It's back to positive, 0.2. Australia and New Zealand both to the downside. Turkish lira only goes up on inflation. Yeah, Bitcoin negative on the day, 1.5% there. Some important levels though. I mean, 42 and then 40 below that brings this kind of consolidation into play. So back to very important levels here for Bitcoin, Ethereum, 4.5%. We're back below 3,500 once again, and Ripple following suit. Back to the downside, guys. Back over to you.
Yeah, I gotta look at maybe a Coinbase or something like that if you did want to get some
Yuck.
love into the crypto markets, but HUD 8, things like that. But yeah, today crypto getting hit, but it's okay. I mean, these are expected moves. But right now, guys, let's just go with Valeria. We're gonna do a light count hopefully soon in a minute here. But right now, guys, Rivian again, $4 now in the money on this trade, and we like our EVs today as we are huge on Ford. My number one stock is AMC, but Ford, we'll see if it can get back up to that one. NIO, $1 in the money, 78 cents in the money on NIO, $4 in the money on Rivian. And look what else is happening right now as we'll dap it up with you guys, because there goes SoFi one more time, man. We're sitting on 4 gold mine trades right here. But with that being said, let's go over to the person that you really want to see the most. What's up, Miss V?
Hey guys, let's do a like count. We need literally just 200 more likes to get to 2,000. So guys, please, we ask you to like this video if you didn't do so yet. Your support means so much to us, and again, likes help us to improve YouTube algorithm so more people can find out about our beautiful community. Likes to the upside, and back to you guys.
Thank you very much there, guys. And look, there's a lot of names that come in the chat. It's hard to look. There's a lot that's moving, and like I'm in half a dozen positions. You're gonna see Sean's board is gonna be pretty full too. And I see someone who's been Urban Trade's been asking about J&J, and we briefly we talked amongst ourselves about healthcare. Load finally. You're going to see some, like, as tech rebounds here, like, you're going to see some relative, or as the NASDAQ rebounds here and the market tries to come back, you're going to see some relative weakness in some pretty solid healthcare names. I talked about UNH, or showed UNH. Danaher was under some pressure. But this is not that bad of a move here for J&J. It's for sure along if it even continues to move down, but it's held up pretty well the last couple of days, and it looks pretty good to hold this consolidation for a break. I just think you can sometimes wait for a breakout at 173.50, but this is a good solid name on the daily chart that I think is the kind of thing that you want to make sure is sort of in your portfolio. If you don't have anything in healthcare, let's just say, then you're getting some decent opportunities in some names. Whether it's UNH on its pullback, whether it's something like a J&J or a Bristol Myers. I haven't looked at BMY particularly, but J&J, yeah, it's on some good support here. The trend has been down. But this hasn't been too beaten up, relatively speaking. So it's not one that is my preference. I'm in Pfizer, or I'm in Danaher, and I'm in UNH. But J&J, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it right here.
Guys, like, this is a $6 winner right now, guys. So we'll go diamond hands, man. We'll go diamond hands when we're in the money. $6 on a $78 name. Yeah, that is what Rivian is all about today, guys. Big monster trade here, and I'm just going to let this one go. I don't know. I mean, we're back up here. I mean, maybe we just take it out. I think we have numerous trades that'll be the trade of the day. I just don't know. I think SoFi, to me, is going to be probably the trade of the day for me as we hit that, and we just really had some great risk management on this name. So I think if we're going to teach, this is going to be a good opportunity today on SoFi for your trade of the day. We did just hit it out to 1380. That might be a good spot here now, man. We held out our last 10%. To the upside. I think this is going to be a good little level for us on SoFi. If it continues to fly the rest of the day, so be it. But SoFi right now, what a great day for this name, as it's been a monster to trade. So that's been good, man. Let's check back in on our friend, Mr. YOLO, see what's going on with AMD, down to 135. We talked about maybe getting out at 133 break. Well, it does exactly that. And that's the problem when you're kind of in one name. You do have single name risk, right? And it does hold at 131, but when it's down here, you're thinking like, uh-oh, what happens if it breaks 130? What happens if it goes to 125? We can't predict. Well, we can a little bit. I mean, I'm doing really well today, but some days this move doesn't stop. And you could see right here, look at the NASDAQ and look at AMD. You almost think this is the same chart, right? Top, down, bottom, making a move, a dip, like it's one and the same here. So AMD and the NASDAQ following each other. So if you were bullish on the NASDAQ, maybe you still are on AMD, but SoFi, 65 cents in the money. Probably going to take this one out here if we get a little bit lower than this. But Brendan, another one?
I'm just going to mention Uber here, guys. I was checking on DoorDash as well, making moves back to the upside, just popping on some volume. Yeah, nice day for Dash here off recent lows as well, 130 back higher. So there was a note just came through on Uber. Uber Eats going to end service and operations in Brazil, according to Journal Report. So no more Uber Eats if you're in Brazil. Sorry.
I mean, sometimes headlines, like on a day like today, the headline's probably not going to matter too much because you have another V-shaped bottom. Like it's just so many charts are going to look like this, right? So when you're going to have that kind of capitulation in the morning and bounce right back, I don't think the headline is going to matter. We're still down. It's still down on Uber. I say we. I mean, I own shares of the stock. That's probably why I'm using the word we. It's still down that 1% on the session. I don't necessarily see a trade there off of that news. Maybe that's going to be able to change. I was looking for a firm. It's only a few minutes to go here. I'm basically just holding on to what we have. The only thing that's, well, I guess everything that I'm currently in is sort of working here. Come on, Affirm. There we go. It's looking like it's finally getting a bit of resistance off of that 79 level. I like 80, but if it wants to roll over here and the market isn't breaking towards those highs, I'll try a quick tight stop trade. Maybe if I can get 78.50s or so in front of 79, risk about 50 points on it. But that's about the only thing I'm looking to do with 2 or 3 minutes to go. Only long I got that I'm still in is Walgreens. I got out of my Rivian and took the profit because I don't want to get caught in a trap if the market doesn't want to break the highs. It might go ahead and do that, in which case I think you want to hold on to them. And the only thing I'm short is small caps. And the only thing I want to add to that would be this Affirm.
Okay, yeah, we're not short anything, and we just took out another piece there for SoFi, was it SoFi, or what did I just take it out there? I thought I did. Oh, no, I didn't. So, yeah, we were going to take out a piece of SoFi there. I thought I did there at 80, but I did not. It was looking at Ford there, and Rivian up a bit. So 80 right here on this name. I like this trade. Let's see if it continues its little march higher here for SoFi, but we're right at this little level. So if we drop below maybe 75 or so, then we'll get out of SoFi, as we noticed that this has been the high here. So bouncing around a little bit, but look at the NASDAQ starting to rock right now. So yeah, I mean, our trades are just getting more and more spicy as we go. There it is. There's the dollar on NIO. So here we go, man. Another one. I mean, this could be the trade of the day as well. And it's talking about it. And, you know, look, I keep pumping the sticky note. It's the number one thing out of all the Twitters or Instagram or anything that we post that you guys seem to like. So look at this today. We talked about this. Learn our lesson yesterday and wait for key levels to come in today. And that is pretty much exactly, and I'll put this up here. You guys can have a look. Just go through hashtag sticky noted if you can. Let's see if we can get that thing moving, the hashtag. But look at what happened here on NIO, right? We love that 28 level on NEO. We talked about that in the pre-market. Here's 28 right here. We waited for it to come in. Therefore, we're not buying like, it's down at the pre-market low, 29.50. Who cares about 29.50? That's not a level for me, right? So as it comes back down, we wait for that 28. It pays off. Oh, yeah, and look what else is happening as we're going to throw to Ms. V. So there we go, Ms. V, little Superman action. As Rivian right now, $84. Are you kidding me? $6 winner right here. Let's go Rivian, and let's go over to the blonde bombshell, Ms. V.
Hey guys, I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Thank you for spending this morning with us. Thank you for 2,100 likes, for all the super chats and kind words on the chat. Please join Prad and me to keep trading this day. And happy National Shortbread, everyone.
Short market or shortbread?
Well, see, I feel like I'm going to be Grinch again on shortbread. I like almost every single pastry, but I like them all more than shortbread. It's just, if there's a tray of cookies and the shortbread is on it, about every other kind of cookie I will eat first, and I will eat them all, trust me, starting with oatmeal raisin, will probably be the shortbread. It's just, it's not tasty enough, man. Like, it's good, but it's not great. And I want pastries to be great. That's just me.
All right, yeah, that makes sense. Might as well do that. Yeah, I don't mind shortbread, but it's more about, I think there was like some toppings and little decorations on there. You know, that's sort of where you can get creative with the shortbread. So not bad. I'm going to say Brendan's probably going to be kind of halfway on this one. I think
it's the same.
I'm going to surprise because I love shortbread. I'm a huge fan. Note as well, guys, unfortunately, our friend Justin is in meetings all morning, so we missed out on Justin because he's a very important guy around here. So
Justin.
We'll try and get him back. But we're going to have Danielle Shea this afternoon. So come back to get some options education and some options questions answered for Danielle Shea from Simpler Trader about 2:50 this afternoon.
Yeah, we said this when we got questions in our Q&A that we got some questions about options. It's like, stay tuned. We're going to have Danielle Shea on to begin the year next year, and you guys can throw those questions in. So I'm glad we're going to have her. Just to round things out here, the market did break that top, so hold on to your longs. My last bid's on this stupid Furlong or FRLN. I don't even know the name of the company. In front of $2. Looks like it's basically going to be kaputs for this one to end that day.
And guys, look at SoFi, man, all the way up to 90s now. A 90-cent winner with a 10-cent stop. Yeah, we'll take it. So a nice little move up here for SoFi. Rivian still $6, man. Neo $1 in the money, and we're exiting our Ford as we speak. So what a monster day. Thank you for joining us. It's been huge. Thank you to Rob. Thank you to Lucas. Thank you to Laura if you're watching. Great job booking everything and just helping us out. So we're excited for Daniel Shea to come through. That should be awesome, man. Watch me on Twitter. Follow me. Send me some questions, whatever you guys want. We're here for you. But right now, just looking to get out of some of these positions. And without any further ado, I think it's time to go back over. Market Movers, let's go.
Welcome to Market Movers. I'm your host, Trader Pratt. This is the beautiful Miss V. Wow,
Hey
we're
guys.
both in the blue today.
Yes, sir. Blue is a new green. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Please, as usual, be active on the chat. Ask us anything. And don't forget to like this video. Your support means so much to us. Pratt, how's your day going? You were screaming in here.
Yeah, my day's pretty good today. Actually, one of my best days in a while. So very happy
Awesome.
with the trading today, with the market
Let's go.